As always, I'm operating on my own here. Baz has got to go into the outside world, but I get to stay and talk to you. It doesn't seem very fair at all, does it? All right, let me just make sure that I've got everybody happy and content and keyboards in the right place and the right computers that I'm typing into and all that kind of jazz. Let us see what's going on then. I got the Stargate going. I've got me sort of making a little bit of sense. Again, another night, another sleepless night for Hewlett. Another odd and
Zoom meeting.
What first Zoom meeting? Here we go. I've got that. I've got a chat room going. Well, that's good. That's good. I don't see anything happening, but that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Switch to non-mode, and then Can I now pop out the chat? I can. I like the popped out chat. I do much prefer my popped out chat. They don't have to look at me. All right. We're in the chat stream. Here we go. Wednesday. No, Tuesday. Oh my gosh, I got to get this right. Okay, so I need to rotate all of this, don't I? This needs to rotate this way. This needs to rotate this way. Is that going to work? Oh, no, a little less. How's that? So if I'm there, is that going to work? How you doing, Evening Star? Hello, Paperclips. It's the usual chaos of me trying to do this myself without sons to help me. A little bit of movement. I don't have a lot of movement here. I don't have a lot of room to play with on this one. What if I move him over a little bit? Huh? If I do that. Will that help? And then I can rotate this more. Oh my god, this is so confusing! So, as always, I'm trying to set up at the last... Oh, that's not bad. Oh, that's... Oh, a little too little Stargate, I think. I want a little bit more Stargate, don't you? A little bit more? What about, like, there? No? Enough? A little bit more? See how far back I can get it. Oh, that's not bad. Is that it? How's that? Sort of through and sideways the little Stargate, I guess. I'm not going to be able to watch long today. Fumbles look stupid. Why not? Always want more Stargate. Exactly. That's sort of the way I feel. No, it's still not right, is it? It's still not enough. I still feel like we're too... All right, let's move this back a little bit. Let's move the whole camera back a little bit. Gives us a little bit more room. Everything moves. Screws everything up. That's not the right way to go. Can rotate this a little bit. Oh my god, it's so hard to do. Why don't I do this? I thought I had this sorted out when I was not live. And now I'm live. And I'm screwing it all up. Alright. Let's make this up a little bit. I see a little bit more of my tippy top of that. Oh, there you go. That's not bad. That's not a bad setup. Now we see the keyboard though. Oh, do we? So if I do that, is that better? The secret keyboard. Look at you, security experts, indeed. Oh no, Pac-Man, what's up? What did I miss? What did I miss? I missed something already? Okay, wrong mouse. Okay, what do we got? So where are we at here? My mom's about to call me about her broken car. What's wrong? Karem, good afternoon. Can't stay as well. Gonna pop by and say hi. Hype train, thank you. I don't know what that means. I'm here for the long haul for once today. Oh, good. CATHPAIN. Or cat? H-pain? CATHPAIN? I mean, CATPAIN makes more sense for me. Me too, Even Star. What's going on? Not able to watch for long today for Stumbles because you got to talk about your broken car. Look, whenever my mom calls to tell me about anything, it takes a while. It's generally how it works. Risa C18, hello. Hello, Fumbles. Hello, Bertley. Hello, CATHPAIN. Hello, Raya C18. Paperclips. Xenos, Knights of Nick. Trans Rights, Rodney McKay. Bertley, Harklight. Steve's 68. Evan Star. Oh my god, Sarah and Kevin Star, thank you very much. Soda Crafter, thank you very much. Holy CATHPAIN, thank you very much. Holy moly, what's going on with all the subscriptions? Scuba Cat. Oh, I used to love scuba diving. Essential worker, and have been working since everything started. At least I am down from 109 plus hours back to 80 or so. I'm just glad that my favorite actor and inspiration live for a few minutes. Oh, well, I'm so glad you can make it, Scuba Cat, and thank you. Thank you for being out there on the front lines. Can't imagine. Being the germaphobe that I am, I can't even imagine it. My son, Bradlett and Jane are going to go down to his school today, and they've got 15 minutes to go in, grab everything from his locker, hose it down with disinfectant, and then get out of there. And I'm not allowed in. So Jane's like, probably quite wisely has said, no, you stay here and talk to your friendly nerds in your friendly space, and we'll go and do that. Engine gone. The engine's gone. I once grenaded, I'll tell you, Fumbles, I once grenaded the engine. They called it grenading it. I went to the garage. They're like, oh, you grenaded the engine. I was like, wow, that sounds cool. I didn't know. I was younger. I didn't realize that, I was like, well, does it have oil? Yes, it's got oil. I thought once it had oil in it, you were fine. I didn't realize you had to actually change the oil. So I drove this car for like years. And then finally it started making a noise. I thought, I had this image of a seagull, slapped to the front of my car. I thought maybe I'd hit like a bird and it was flapping in the front. No, that was actually the pistons pushing through the top of the engine head. So yeah. Anyways, there you go. Monica Lake, hello. McJack, hello. I don't know what that means. Deling StarGATE. Don't know what that means. Did you see that Rodney, Ontario is quite close to McKay's Corners? Interesting, iGill94. And hello, iGill94. Jedi Time Killer. Jedi Killer 71. Holy moly, talk much, Hewlett? Time for tea. No, I'm going with coffee. I'm in coffee mode now. We do tea for the first couple of hours, and then I move to coffee. That's how I work. That's how I medicate my ADHD, with a ton of caffeine. Bad week. David, had to hire labor attorney employer trying to tell me I have to resign because I have to be on medical leave with my asthma. What? Oh my God, Pac-Bomb, what a freaking nightmare. So had to hire a labor attorney. Had to hire a labor attorney because the employer is trying to tell me I have to resign because I have to be on medical leave with my asthma? Why do you have to resign? That doesn't make any sense. Oh my God. Well, now I feel like a moron for giving them any attention. Oh, Pac-Mom, I'm so sorry. It's such a stress. God, just another stress. I feel like they can't nail you for having asthma, can they? I've got asthma. I'm personally offended. I just ate one of those peanut butter things, little peanut butter like snack bars, like basically what I used to do on Stargate to just keep my energy up because I realized I'd only done my crazy poached eggs this morning. So I've got lots of little bits of peanut in my mouth. Pac-Mom, I am so sorry. I don't even know. Is there something we can do? Can we help somehow? Can we say, hey, that's not cool or something to them? Is there something we could do? Hello, Dark Rogue. Hello, Midian Breach. Hello, Hapshade. Fingare. It's a full-time job. Crisscross Stitch. Greetings to you. That's Jane saying goodbye, and we say we love each other by doing this, which is basically the L sign for loser, but for some reason we've turned that into love, I think, or she's still calling me a loser. Dyke Graffen, hello, and German Trekkie, we got everybody here today. Lexi K, Fumbles McStupid. I love that I don't tweet these things anymore, or rarely do I get it together to tweet these things. So this is all people who I guess are just hanging around. I missed the hype train. What? How did I miss the hype train? I don't even know how that works. Okay, before I go, did Baz show you the video? Sorry, Karim, which video was it? I'm so confused. Oh my God, yes, wait a sec. The highlight reel. Yes, oh my God, Karim. So my question to you is, can I put that on my YouTube channel? Because I'd love people to see that. I'm even wondering about maybe like using bits of it in my, in a little like sort of promo for the site or something like that. So, yes, thank you so much, Karim. I'm so sorry, I completely forgot about that. There's too much stuff going on, I gotta say. Karim, yeah, that's amazing. I haven't seen the whole thing all the way through because my son kept walking off with the phone. But I will, yeah, that was, so Karim has put together a highlight reel, including things like, strange activities with ARC characters that suddenly launch into space and stuff, and some stuff from way back when, which is just really cute to see. My son used to be adorable. Anyways, I hate that asthma's controlling my life right now. Well, okay, our health is always controlling our life back, Mom. I mean, that's the reality, right? It's like, so if it's not asthma, it's something else. I'm not saying that that everything is as serious as that, but the reality is that, I wouldn't see health as holding up your life. Health is the part that keeps you going, right? I mean, so if you don't address the asthma, then you don't have a life to mess with. So the reality is, like, I am the worst. I'm like, do as I say, not as I do. It's all very good and well to plow on with your business, plow on with all these important things in your life. If you ignore the health aspects, then then it's all for nothing. So look after yourself, for God's sake. And can you not maybe just do the administrative stuff or something, or like step back in some way where you could be helping remotely or something? There's a creative way they could do that rather than asking you to resign. Ugh, what a nightmare. You know what's funny? Okay, so talking about asthma, Scuba Cat. I did a little bit of scuba, never like a huge scuba guy, but I did a little bit of scuba when we go on holidays. I would go and do this, and I did a little certification course when I was in Jamaica one time, which I don't think was a legitimate certification. I'm just saying. It was a little too laid back. But anyways, in fact, they forgot to fill someone's air tanks when we went down for like our second dive, and they panicked and had to, it was awful. But so there was definitely it was just before, I was quite young at the time. So did a couple of little scuba dives. Then when I got to Australia with Jane, I thought, fantastic, it's the Great Barrier Reef. I'm going to scuba dive on the Great Barrier Reef. And so I went and signed up all the paperwork, did all the paperwork. They came back and said, yeah, you can't do it. I was like, why not? They said, well, because you have asthma. I was like, yeah, I've always had asthma, but I've always scuba dived. They said, no, not anymore. Can't do that anymore. And so it turns out I'm not allowed to scuba dive anymore, which sucked, except that then I really got into snorkeling. And I got to say, I almost prefer snorkeling because in an environment like that, it's so beautiful. But then again, there's other areas I'm sure that aren't as good from the surface, obviously, that you'd want to be deep down for. But it terrifies me. It's one reason why I wanted to do it. It absolutely terrified me because I watched Jaws way too early and bought into that whole shark myth thing. But yeah, I have a real problem with. There's actually, Baz looked it up. There's actually a term for it. It's a fear of like bottomless spaces. So when I look, I can swim as long as I can see an edge and I can see a bottom. I'm fine. But as soon as you get a drop off, I go into full panic mode. It's the weirdest thing. So, and Baz is the same way, probably because I told him. David, seriously, if you ever go again, I would help you and go with you. Laugh out loud. Also, you have an open invitation here in Colorado, bro. I'm honored to just chat with you this way. Oh my gosh, no, scuba chat. There's no honor involved. And there's no honor here. This is the whole point of the chats, is just to say hi to people, find out what they're up to, and yeah. Oh my God, I'd love that. I love snorkeling, too claustrophobic for scuba. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is it's a little, I mean, I don't want to say snorkeling's like wimpy scuba, but it totally is. But at the same time, I honestly found I saw more because I spent less time futzing with equipment. Jane spent a lot more time futzing with her scuba gear, and so I saw more sharks and stuff than she did. So, and I didn't freak out. What's it called? Thalassophobia. What is that? Hype train means dollar bills, Harklight. Oh, I should say a few things. First off, huge thanks to Harklight. Harklight's been helping me out with the Soliloquio site, which is my monologue site. Big shout out to sponsor level Patreon DStat for his continued support with the Tech Bandits. Huge love and virtual hugs. Well, yeah, although virtual socially distanced hugs to everybody on Patreon. All of you subscribers, this all, in the way of the subscribers, some of it goes to pocket money for the kid, rest of it goes towards Tech Bandits, and he's living the dream, and I'm doing the same, frankly, living the dream thanks to this stuff, because I get to play with the kids on this stuff, and so thank you very much to all of you who've done that. To the people who've done separate donations, thank you very much. This is, this is a weird thing that's happened. I mean, Baz wanted to be a Twitch streamer. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, kid. I thought it was YouTube. And then we started doing this, and it's honestly fantastic. Like, I started doing this just because I feel like I was missing out on actually chatting with people, or as my wife would probably call it, pontificating with people, in this kind of mode. So it's kind of fun doing these chats. In fact, I'd like to do another one in the week. I'd like to do 2 a week, but we'll see. Try imagining Bertley snorkeling with a unicorn horn. I'll tell you, they've got those new. Are you talking about the new helmets? They've got the new masks because they were using them for COVID PPE equipment, but basically they were revamping these things as a COVID filter. And what it is a full face shield. It's a full like like 180 view scuba glass, and then one snorkel that comes out the top. And what they were doing is they were using that as the filter. They're putting a filter on the top. And using it that way, but it's a snorkel that I really want to get actually because I think it would just be a great way to swim around. Because I find, especially when you've got a beard like I do often, especially when I'm on holiday, because who wants to shave on holiday? I find that very difficult. So I used to be able to free dive to 40 for about a minute before getting pneumonia last year. Still trying to get lung capacity up. Well, that's interesting. So pneumonia, I don't know whether it was because of pneumonia or because of asthma that I have limited lung capacity and such because of I was in I say this all the time, sick kids here, the hospital for sick children here basically saved my life. Like I was rushed to hospital I wasn't breathing properly during an asthma attack, and I guess I had somehow because with asthma, you often find there's often sort of moisture in the lungs, and you can get bronchitis and stuff. So whenever I would get a cold, I would get bronchitis. And in this case, I went from bronchitis to pneumonia. I got rushed to hospital. They had me on oxygen. I was in there for, I don't know how long I was in there for, but long enough to remember it very, very well. And they saved my life. So sick kids. Woohoo! Should I repost my question if it was missed? By all means, Aaron Dialis, because I suck at keeping up with the chat. And I think it may be too late for Cal. Cal may have slept by now. Lexi K, imagine walking around in public with one of those scuba equipment to protect yourself from COVID-19. Well, here's the funny thing, Lexi K. So, Cal is here. Hey! Try not to make it a literal wall of text as he struggles with those. Lots of big words. That's what Cal's saying. Hello, Cal. I should also say I want to say a huge thank you to the lovely and talented Cal as well, who not only helps here with monitoring and being the hammer of the law. She's the judge, jury, and executioner here. She's also being dragged into my Tech Bandits PC club. So she's also doing that on kind of like a weekly basis, which is amazing. So, hey, thank you, Tasty Crayons. Oh, don't eat the crayons. So Cal, as always. Thank you. Have you got Last of Us 2 going yet? Is that out yet? Have you got a chance to get to that? And Cal's not here. Yeah, okay, Cal's not here, right? Cal is basically David's SaaS boss. Yes, that's true. That's true. We've got the Zelenka bot and the SaaS bot. All right, so where am I at? I was looking at that. I've been waiting. I've been a while without chatting with you. I miss these moments. Oh, Oswald Santos. What else? What was the question? Where was I at? Scuba gear. Okay, yeah, so imagine walking around with scuba gear on to protect yourself. So here in Toronto, we are still in, I guess, stage 1 or whatever it is. Whatever stage it is. Where we're supposed to technically be when we're allowed to, I don't know if we've expanded to 10 people yet or not. Anyways, point being is we're still basically in a kind of a lockdown here. Baz and I went out the other day. We decided to go get our ramen noodles. We want to try to support some of the local places because I'm worried they're going to go under, and it's got to be rough. So, Scuba Cat, thank you very much. Just because I talked to you doesn't mean you have to subscribe. Just so everyone knows, there's no pressure here to. Well, obviously, what am I saying? People will subscribe if they want to. Anyways, point being, thank you very much. I'm not very good at, as my wife says, I'm not very good at compliments. What was it? Someone said. Someone sent me a little. Was it a tweet or something where it said if you're not good at compliments, you save them, and then use them on someone else later, which I thought was a great way of putting it. Aaron Dialysis got dialysis. Dialysis, I guess would be a better way of putting it. Okay, sorry, question. So McKay on Stargate, SG-1, McKay on Atlantis. How much say did you have on each version? You have as much say as any actor ever has. I think you bring a certain amount of personality of your own person. Well, in my case, there are these brilliant actors who can do that sort of chameleon thing. I'm not that good. I just tend to bring stuff of myself and highlight the bits that relate to the character I'm playing. So I think it's more about how much. It's less about how much say you have as how much they pick up on who you are as you go along. So to start off with, McKay was very much a written character, and then as the sort of the episodes progress, they start picking out bits of your personality, stuff that they see you doing in life, and that are a part of the performances that you bring to the show, and then they start incorporating that as well. So it's kind of nice. It becomes a real combination. But honestly, I can take very little credit for that. They wrote an amazing character, and I just got to play it. So So not a lot to say, really. Yeah, and there are some actors who felt comfortable going in and asking for specific things. I didn't really. I always felt like they know this universe so much better than me. Like they've been doing it since SG1. They've been doing it for decades. So I felt like, unless there was things like the odd time. I'll tell you, like a perfect example would be, at one point I say, "Oh, my brother, who I don't speak to anymore." I just said, I think it was I think it might have been to Garrow, Martin Garrow. Do I have to say brother? Can I say sister? Just because I have a sister, she's an actress. I'm not saying you have to cast her, but it would just be nice if I could be talking about my sister, and it just sort of makes it a little bit more sort of fun and real, and I get to basically bitch about my sister on the show. And they were very kind and went with that. Yeah, they were really good about writing to my strengths. They were really good about writing to everyone's strengths, for that matter. But I also had the advantage of the fact that all of the writers and producers were basically, forms of McKay themselves, and that they were nerds like myself. So I get along very well with them, and because we were all nerds. But we also butted heads because we're nerds. Yeah, so I think I feel like I had the best character on the show, frankly. Oh yes, thank you, Nightbot Xenos. Yeah. I mean, I got to talk to Harklight about that because we're so close. So close. Which uniform was your favorite? I can tell you which was my least favorite, and that was the first season where I looked like a paper bag on a stick. Favorite uniform? I love the black uniform. I mean, as soon as they went to that black combat thing, I was like, this is so cool. But at the same time, it was also I feel like it almost took you away from the whole fun Stargate. I mean, I quite liked the sort of the darker gray when they went to the darker gray, more cut stuff. But yeah, I mean, you can't help it. I mean, the whole idea of going into combat, the whole combat suit thing is just really cool. I like lots of pockets. Yes. Knights of Neat is rewatching Monk and Tony Shalhoub and thinking, this guy gets it. He's just from the future. It's so true. Oh man, I'm so far behind. Okay, I'm going to skip right down to the bottom. I have emailed you. Thank you, Harklight. I shall check. How much did Kate give you? Not enough. Do you still have contact with any of the writers too? Yeah, I mean, every so often we'll share a tweet or something with Malazzi. But no, not really. Now I think about it, not really. No, I mean, look, my friends call me like an extrovert hermit. The reality is, I prefer to be by myself, and yet I definitely sort of blossom in company in the way that's the actor side of me. So I'm not terribly good at staying in touch with people, I've got to say. I always feel like I should, and I always love talking to them when I do. Like talking to Zlenke every so often. David Nichols always fun to talk to, and McGillian and I shared a few little hellos and stuff a couple of days ago about him joining us on an upcoming viewing. Which, by the way, this Sunday, 2 p.m. Right? Is that right? We're going to watch Underground. I think it's Underground this episode, which should be a fun one. The beginning of the Genei, and that wonderful actor. Oh God, who's the redhead from Star Trek? Oh my God, come on, wonderful guy. And The Commitments. Please help me. Cole Maney, thank you, Even Star. I'm so bad at names. Kolya. Yay, another watch party. Indeed, Colm. Colm is, God, he's a lovely, he would have been an amazing McKay, I gotta say. Colm Meaney would have been an amazing McKay because he's got this great sort of like grumpy, friendly, positive, negative sense to him. Like he's like a wonderful, I don't know. He's what I want to be when I grow up. In the way that he's got this great sense of like grumpy gruffness about stuff, but there's there's a joy and a feeling of I don't know, of camaraderie that you get from him that I just absolutely loved. Need to be careful about spoilers for this. It's true. I keep telling him that that Jinto is going to show up again. All right, love to Ms. O'Brien. Yeah, me too. Tasty Crayons. I can't say Tasty Crayons' name without tasting crayons. Not that I ever ate them. He had his own Genius Fix all the time. That's true. Yeah. It's true. He was Deep Space Nine's McKay. That is true. Yeah. It's so funny because I never really watched Deep Space Nine. People are awful about spoilers when Baz is watching. It's okay. Baz is awful about spoilers. His mom's the worst. Jane is the worst at spoilers, just so everyone knows. We need to start timing people out. What do you mean, Ruby K? Kolya isn't in Underground. Doesn't he? Yeah, but isn't he like masterminding it or something in the background? I don't remember. You guys, the funny thing is that you folks have seen it more than I have at this point. I should be doing watch streams and having you. Actually, you guys should do the commentary for me. That's what we should do. How are you? Hey, McJack. You're watching Deep Space Nine now, and how are you finding it? Is it holding up? Oh, timing out people who spoil stuff. Well, that's Cal's job, isn't it? Spinner Breaker, yay! Kolya turns up in the Storm in the Eye. That's right. Deep Space Nine, absolutely a thing you should watch at some point, or I think so. Anyway, says River Song. Deep Space Nine. Okay, all right. There's so many of these I gotta watch. I feel like I'm so far behind. I'm telling you, go and see T-34. Oh my gosh, I don't go and see it. I mean, download it. It's this Russian tank movie. It's just crazy great. It's not science fiction, but it's just a movie that I saw that Baz and I loved it. We were screaming at each other the whole time. I know people are constantly talking about asking spoiler questions for projects, but doesn't that take away the enjoyment? Anyone in the chat here that actively seeks out spoilers? The thing I think, Bertley, is like, I feel like the show's been around for a long time. I mean, if we don't do spoilers, then it's hard to speak to things that most people wouldn't have already got about the show. So I feel like I'm not too worried. I don't feel too worried about the spoilers for Baz. Shutterfoot, hello to you and you to everyone. I like Deep Space Voyager. Waiting for Discovery S3. I was into Discovery for a while there, but I just can't keep track. You know. It does take up less time if you watched it all new and aren't trying to catch up on the massive list of things yet to see. Yeah, that's true. Not specific to Stargate, just media in general, Bertley says about... Really? I know people constantly ask... Yeah, all right. Care Bear, Halle Drescher. Personally, for me, I don't care about spoilers because if I'm going towards watching something, I'm going to watch out regardless of the whole story. Yeah, there's some stuff I'd rather not, you know. I got Khan vibes from Kolya. So much than Shepard screaming his name made it for me. Oh, good. Yeah, I definitely got Khan vibes as well from Kolya. God, man, that guy. All right, check out the official site for Tech Bandits. Thank you very much, Xenos. Aaron Cross, is he just the general at first? I think he works for Cohen. No. Don't talk about anything post JJ. Really? What do you think about Stargate Universe? I thought it was beautiful. Honestly, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Like I've said this before, I think that its biggest issue was that it had Stargate in it. And it was a whole new look at Stargate. So I think people who were expecting to come in and see the Stargate they knew and loved, were probably not going to be that happy about it. It was a lot darker. It was a lot... it wasn't the Stargate I knew and loved because it was... the thing I loved about Stargate was its kind of almost like family viewing approach, like that everyone could sit down and watch it together. I loved that. I really loved that. I know that the writers and the producers struggle with that because they wanted to write serious stuff that would win awards and stuff. But but that said, I'm not saying that it was a bad Stargate. It was a great Stargate. It's beautifully acted, beautifully written. The production design, everything. Like it's a brilliant show. It's just not the Stargate that it just wasn't my Stargate. That's all. So and it was depressing. I mean, it was this nihilistic kind of science fiction that was, I think, something that the writers were trying to tap into. I mean, they'd seen Battlestar just get award after award after award, and I kept going like, yeah, but we're like the Disney of science fiction. Of course, that's Star Wars, but I felt that the appeal was that we weren't dark nihilistic science fiction, and I think that science fiction doesn't have to be dark. And I'm the first person to love dark nihilistic science fiction. I loved all the Blade Runners. I love, all that cyberpunk crap. But I think the appeal that I think was perhaps not what they understood to be the appeal of Stargate was this kind of a family viewing kind of show, I think. So Sci-Fi wanted soap opera with better lighting and graphics. I guess. I mean, Sci-Fi didn't know what they wanted. I still don't know if they knew what they wanted. The fact that they changed their name from Sci-Fi to Sci-Fi, well, I think said a lot. The fact that they then bought wrestling. I mean, I think they were. I think, again, this is partially about the way that science fiction is marginalized in North American culture, is that it's sort of seen as something less of a, it's somehow less of a genre than even romance or or regular drama stuff. I mean, so I think that the writers can get caught up in that as well, and actors for that matter, where they're sort of going like, "What am I doing here? I'm pretending to be shot by lasers, and it's all silly sci-fi stuff." And it's like, well, it's silly sci-fi if that's what you make it. But I grew up on silly sci-fi. I loved what was at the time, which would have been laughable to most of the people older than me growing up. But Doctor Who was freaking brilliant to me. I loved Doctor Who. It was so cute. I just posted a letter from a friend of ours, well, from a kid who's in my PC Bandits club, and she's just a huge fan of Stranger Things, and I just like, she's written these beautiful letters to everybody, and she doesn't know whether it's worth doing. And I said, like, of course it's always worth writing letters. You never know. I said, but you don't expect a response. It's very difficult when you have a lot of letters and stuff. And I said, but let me try to sort of amplify it online for you, because I think that's where you can actually make a contact. I mean, I made a conscious effort to step back from. I really don't do much, if any, at this point, of fan letter stuff. I don't actually receive any fan letter anymore, because I think it all goes through agents and stuff, and I never see it. And I've had so many agents over the years, and I think they probably got stacks of it somewhere. I like to think that. Or there's nobody writing. But the point being is, I just didn't have... I spent so much time responding to one individual person. I thought the time that I spent writing a letter to someone, which I know would mean an awful lot to that one person, is fantastic. But I thought this way I can make a personal contact with a lot more people, if that makes sense. Wow, I've missed a lot. Don't get me started on Picard. Is that a bad thing or a good thing, Cyric? And hello, Cyric. Commander Lake, hello. Hi, Crooked Glasses. Commander Lake, you brought up the Crooked Glasses before on YouTube? That's so funny. It drives Jane crazy. So I definitely think my ears are different. Like I've always had I'm two different people. I am one person looking this way. I'm another person looking this way. I have a very different side. I've never been able to work out which one's which. But as a result, I think I'm lopsided. So all of my glasses are always a little bit off. And I'm not terribly good at my makeup, hair, and wardrobe stuff. So yeah, a bit of that. Oswald and Santos, thank you very much. I saw a neat little video last night about how Tolkien was such a huge risk taker with Lord of the Rings, writing fantasy not explicitly for children. Yeah, whereas now I feel like, most of the stuff that I did, actually a documentary. I actually voiced a documentary about Tolkien and a bunch of other guys whose name, of course, I've forgotten now. But there was a guy who sort of was a precursor to him, and it was all the idea of like religion in science fiction. What was it called? As I choke on my my little peanut snack. What was it called? God. Nope, you have to look it up. I'm gonna look it up for you, because it was a neat little show, I gotta say. And it was all about sort of the religious aspects of these books, and where a lot of this stuff came from, and how sort of revolutionary it was. Okay, what were they called? They're like called Farpoint Films or something, which I love too. And they do a ton of different sort of like, they basically make their money doing these little sort of like reality shows. But let's see if we've got the show here. I wonder if it's on here. It might not even be on here now I think about it. Okay, previous projects. Could it be in previous projects? Okay. I'm scrolling. Oh, I scrolled too far. Yeah, it's something science. Oh God, what was it called? Because they're doing another one on science fiction now. It was on Lord of the Rings and it was on Lord of the Rings and fantasy stuff, and then they want to do a new one on science fiction, which I'm really excited about. And they've got one of those websites that keeps dropping their the menu keeps disappearing every time you. Okay. No. Why don't I see it here? Well, maybe they just haven't updated their website. Okay, let me see if I can find it. It was probably a Tolkien documentary. There's probably a million of them, I'm sure. Fantasy Makers, no. Nope. No, I can't find it. All right, I'll have to look that up for you because I can't find it. But, oh, chat paused due to scroll. Oh, man, have I got totally far behind again? I have, haven't I? Do you just go to your own GI? Yes, I do, Bertley. I have to go to IMDb to remember some of the stuff I've done. I'm getting that old. Hey, Losky Arman, how are you? On the topic of religion, I loved Orai's storyline touching on the SGI. Should have gone to 12 seasons at least to expand on that. Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, there's a whole sort of... David, a very well-known actor, has uploaded to Soliloquio. Who could that be? Check out his YouTube channel. Thank you, Zenos. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm getting totally lost in the crush of the chat. Just watch a cat jump in lava and burn to death. Oh, Minecraft. Oh, Spinner Breaker. Do you just go? Yes. On top of religion, have you ever read books on Stargate? I have not read any books on Stargate. So claps. I don't know what happens to me in the books. Are these fan fiction books? Lexi K, thanks to Harklight, you can now upload up to, I think, a gigabyte size video on Soliloquio. It'll then compress it and put it into this jetpack thing. But yeah, the Fantasy Makers. Oh my God, Chris Crotch Stitch, how did you find that? That's it. The Fantasy Makers, Tolkien, Lewis, MacDonald. That's it. So it was about So C.S. Lewis, and then this MacDonald guy was an earlier, I guess he was an Irish writer, was it, or something like that? Yeah, check that out. The Fantasy Makers. Chris Crotch Stitch, where did you find that out of curiosity? Because I didn't remember the name of it. Is it on IMDb? Yeah. Hark like sending love. There are comics, I think, that continue the story. Does anyone like the comic books? Out of curiosity, I mean, I don't want to be mean, but I just don't feel like the comics. I feel like they could have spent a little bit more time and money on the comic books. I just thought they should be. When I see what was done for, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all those kinds of things, I just feel like I want to see like a really classy Stargate and Stargate Atlantis series of comics. Like, I feel bad. Oh, they're slow for Stargate? Yeah. I don't know. Look, and I don't mean to be mean. I sound like such a jerk by saying that. But I wasn't particularly impressed with the comic books, I gotta say. I felt like even just the covers, they had like covers of pictures that everyone's been seeing for the last 10 years. I was like, come on, design something new and cool. You know what I mean? Google Tolkien, David Hewlett. It took me to Amazon. Oh, great. Oh, fantastic. Is it on Prime? Chris Crotch Stitch? As a comic book letterer, I was underwhelmed. Okay, Sybil, so it's not just me then. Hello, Sybil, by the way. Are we already able to upload monologues to Soliloquio? Hey, Harklight, what do you think? I mean, can they start doing it themselves? I mean, there's a form, but then that requires... here's what I'm doing. Harklight, what do you think? Could people just go in and start uploading it themselves? I mean, should they? Or should we wait? I mean, Harklight's made it possible to do that. I have been doing it through a form that has all the information that the casting people and folks have asked me to add, as well as an agreement to the terms and conditions. Make sure the writers get credit, whether you wrote it yourself or whether it's from something else. Harklight says go for it. So yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure. Yeah, I mean, look, give it a go. That'd be great. If you could test it, that'd be fantastic. Thank you, Harklight. The problem right now, but of course, Harklight's just discovered that we can't upload .mov files, which I think for Apple users, for Mac users, that's going to be difficult. So I may have to splurge on the software for that. Which again, all starts making me wonder about whether I'm on the right platform. Harklight says I should have been using. Oh man, I shouldn't open this up again, should I? But Harklight has very, very justifiably said, "Look, we should be thinking about Joomla for this." But the reality is, the only video hosting platform is this WordPress one that I've got. That's the only one that seems reasonable, certainly for me at this point. So there you go. You know what would be fun? Fan stories where you would have to guess the gate address to get to each story. Oh wow. That's a lot of guessing. Oh, it's on Prime. Oh, there you go. So Chris Crotch Stitch says that the show is available on Prime. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, everyone, make sure they go and look at it. leave a review. Tell everyone how much you loved the voiceover and you want them to do many, many more of them. They're great, actually. The guy Kyle, the guy who runs Farpoint out there, just a great guy. And he's working with Jane on the throwing jar. So if there's any other stuff out there by them and you can support them, that would be great. All right. Well, hey, is it okay? Do you mind if I put the link up there? I really enjoyed doing it. I got to say, I really enjoyed doing the voiceover for it. I much prefer voiceovering? Oh man. I much prefer doing the voiceover for a documentary than I did like cartoons and stuff because, well, you know, cartoons are cool. I'd love to do anime. But the great thing about the documentary is you learn so much, right? And of course, me being the nerd, I start looking stuff up as I go through the text, right? Well, if you get the 6 symbols and a point of the origin, it's only 720 tries. There you go, Lasky Arman. I mean, that doesn't seem like that much difficulty, does it? And you see if it's available in France. Ah, I see. Oh, Harklight's pitching the website. Good man, good man. Speaking of glasses, David, I have earbud fatigue, but have yet to find a microphone headset that doesn't mush my ears against my glasses. What are you using? You're always using the headset. Pac-Mom, I have the worst trouble with headsets because I've got these tiny little pixie ears on this giant head. And, you know, I've been using these ones. What are these? Who makes these? These are... So the Turtle Beach ones, they're not bad. They cover my whole ear. But again, my ears are tiny, so these are fairly comfortable. I cannot wear earbuds for long. It's like torture, basically. So I wear them only for a tiny little bit. Ibrek! How are you, Ibrek? Logitech G933s are very nice. Sennheiser, yeah. Quite nice, Cal. Bit fancy for us. I guess they're local for you, or local-ish for you. Perfect. Wow, Ibrek, that's good. Perfect is pretty damn good, I'd have to say. Yes. What else do we have here? Thanks. New nickname, Pixie Ears. Yeah, that would be great, Pac-Mom. Thanks for that. Coucou Ibrek. Qu'est-ce que c'est coucou en anglais? What does coucou mean in English? Okay, I have a meeting. Bertley, go for it. Oh, so I'll put you on mute. We need that automatic speech to text for subtitles. Oh my God! Anything we used on Atlantis, that can't be terribly ergonomic, can it? It was always uncomfortable. Oh, Harklight's sending me wireless headset. Oh my gosh, God, Harklight, you're nonstop on this stuff. Thank you. Lexi K, hello. Cuckoo, hi. Oh, that's great. Okay, thank you, Rasa. Rasa C18, merci beaucoup pour ça. What else we got? Cuckoo. Cuckoo, everybody. Cuckoo. Hello, nice to be able to join the stream today. I'll say, Orfiana, welcome, enjoy. Saren Smith-Sarn, hello to you. A friend of mine's deaf, would love it if these chats had subtitles. How would we do that, Eden Star? Because I would love to do that too, because frankly, I'm losing my hearing. So I will be joining them soon, I'm sure, in their subtitles. I have to wear hearing aids, and was really frustrated that my insurance company turned down. They said, no, we only cover these types of hearing aids. I was like, but these types of hearing aids don't cover the type of hearing loss that I've got. And they're like, yeah, sorry. We only cover the hearing loss for we only cover total one level. Basically, they only cover hearing aids that increase the volume for you. Whereas, of course, there's all sorts of hearing aids now that allow you to sort of filter in and out stuff. My biggest issue is that I have any background sound tends to obliterate speech for me. I find it very difficult to distinguish speech. It becomes very it becomes very muted and difficult to pick out. So I bought these fancy hearing aids, and of course they're not covered. Insurance companies are evil. But that is how insurance works. Cover what's cheap, but not helpful. Thank you, Sarah Smith. Very true. But I tell you what, I'll tell you what I would love to look into, and I started looking into, was open source hearing aids. Is there a way to build this stuff in an open source way that makes it accessible to everybody, and more importantly for me, being a nerd, configurable? I want to be able to take my bat detector and feed it through my hearing aids and have super hearing, because why why get my hearing back to the level of most people? I want to have super hearing. I want to be able to hear like ultra high frequency. I want to be able to, you know, spy on people, and I want to be like a freaking cyborg. Why would I? If I'm going to stick these stupid plastic chunks in my ears, I want to be able to configure them. Anyways, and tinnitus as well. Again, so tinnitus is nothing that can be dealt with these things. Hearing aid idea on Kickstarter. Is there a hearing aid? Is there one already? I'm writing a book starring characters from 3 Stargate series. The main character, of course, is Rodney. Of course. Thank you, Clabaz8. Very good choice in leading characters, I'd say. Hearing aids. I have to notice also, I had any hearing damage from all those Stargate blanks. I don't think it was Stargate were pretty good about that. They had us wear hearing protection. I sometimes wore them, sometimes didn't, because I was already losing my hearing anyways. But the biggest issue I had was I did a film in Bulgaria. Actually, it's a funny little aside. It was something I added to a script, this Who You Know film that I did not that recently now, but it's just come out. And there's this scene where I talk about, like, I can't hear properly in one ear. And it's because, and I sort of regale them with this story. Not in the movie, but basically there was an ammunitions expert, as he was called in Bulgaria. And he decided that he would blow up. They thought they wanted to do squibs. It's basically, that's like little sparks that make it look like you're being shot at. But they wanted like a big one on the computer, so the computer blew up. But it was a tiny little space. I guess they didn't test it. No one thought that there would be an actor right there. So he blew it up with me about like this far away from it. And so for a couple of days, I just couldn't hear. It was awful. It was terrible because it makes you feel sick as well, right? Anyways, for a couple of days, I was really struggling with that. It sort of improved, but apparently it was permanently damaged. And now that I get older, I have much less hearing. Is it that ear or that ear? I can't remember anymore now. They've evened out. They're both, and the other. So I'm combining that. I'm combining actual damage with just age as well. So the combination of age. This is the whole thing. It all comes down to scar tissue, basically. As you get older, all the things that go wrong are just things that you did when you were younger that were, that come back to haunt you. RTX voice would work well for a hearing aid. You would need to hang an NVIDIA GPU on your ear, though. I like the sound of it, Commander Lake. Look, Commander Lake, honestly, like, you joke, but the idea of having an RTX card, like, in a little knapsack that fed to my ears, I'd go for that in a second. Is there a country you haven't been but would like to visit? Japan. Lexi K, Japan. Absolutely Japan. I want to go to Tokyo. Dying to see Tokyo. Dying to see Japan. I'd like to go to China as well. I know that's a big place. Where in China? All over, frankly. I find China absolutely fascinating. And Japan as well. I mean, my son is a huge anime fan. I was a huge Blade Runner fan, and that was sort of like, basically was a future vision of Tokyo, right? I mean, so yeah, those are the places I like to go. A couple of websites that do live on-the-fly subtitles for streamers. I know. Okay, that's cool. That'd be great. So is there some software that I could be running while I'm doing it? Oh, wow. Well, wait a sec. So, Ibrek, so Czech TV's doing Prima Cool in HD, but don't they, I thought they had like Blu-ray versions of Stargate. Isn't that's beyond HD, isn't it? I think my right ear has a disability. The Oracle is shaped quite differently than the other one, I'm guessing. Have you watched James May or A Man in Japan on Amazon? No, I haven't. Oh, no. Oh, thanks, Iterator. I'll have a check on that. That's great. Where's my book? Where's my book? Did I bring my book down? Oh, man, if I left my book upstairs. I got my book for notes, and I always leave it somewhere else. Damn. Okay, yeah, I did. I have to write these things down in my book, otherwise I forget. So James May or Man in Japan on Amazon. I will definitely check that out. Cropped for the original 4x3. Really? Interesting. Because they filmed it, right? So SG-1, when I worked on SG-1, I think they were still using film. They still felt that film looked better before they moved to HD. And they were one of the first shows to do that move to HD, I remember. And, yeah, so they've got the film version, which they could, if they I guess there's money involved, so MGM may not want to do that. But basically, they rescanned the film. You would have some pretty beautiful versions of it, I would think. You should get a notebook to note where you leave your notebook. You know what I should do, Losky Armin? Thank you, Snarky Man. Is I should put like one of those like what are they called? The little tags that you can stick on things, which I keep forgetting. They have a bunch of these little tags you can do, little RF tags, so I can remind myself. Hey, Groves Pass, thank you very much. An issue that would be the VFX shots; those would need to be rendered. Ah, good point, Groves Pass. Of course, but a great reason to redo them. Ho, ho, ho. I'm the creator of the hack that gets RTX voice to install and run with a non-RTX NVIDIA GPU. Oh, really, Commander Lake? Hack that gets the RTX voice to install and run on a non-RTX. So it uses the GPU. So it uses a non-RTX GPU to run the RTX stuff. Oh, that's very cool. Very cool. So when you're saying you created the hack, are you in the guts of the machine? Are you doing some? Are you doing assembler for that stuff? It's tricky to get closed captioning going on stream without an actual stenographer. Sadly, only 1 or 2 of those CC overlays work properly. Well, Cal, if there's any that work, can we? I mean, I'm willing to throw some money at that if it makes it more accessible. Visual effects for Rising Part 1 and 2 are in 480. Really? I definitely see it. Like Knights of... I definitely see... the effects date. You can't help it. You know what I mean? They tried to restrict it to RTX GPUs only. You just need to edit a bit of XML in the installer. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. No money needed. We can try to set it up. Yeah, Cal. Sorry, Cal. I'm not sicking you on that. I can look into that for sure. But I think that's kind of important. I mean, one of my big fascinations is with assistive technology, and so if we should definitely. I feel bad that I haven't actually followed up on that. I'll tell you though. Another interesting thing. I was listening to BBC World News, as I do every morning. And they had a whole thing on ADHD. There's a woman talking about having ADHD and the difference between women and men with ADHD and different people's approaches to it and stuff. It was absolutely fascinating. I got to find the whole show because it was just it really helped with it. Because one of the big things you have with ADHD is that you get really stressed and you beat the crap out of yourself because you're not getting stuff done. And why am I not productive today when I was so productive yesterday or even an hour ago? So it's just kind of interesting stuff. I think MGM still the masters of the episodes. Masters then compressed to be put on DVD. If they've got the masters... no, they'd have to go back to the film, I think, to do that. So I understand... Yeah. Right. Yeah, Lexi K. DHD. That's basically what I've got. DHD. As an Aspie, I hear that, says Lil Goth. For cost, the VFX... usually rendered in HD, but not usually rendered HD, but at 480, right? Yeah, that makes sense. But the digital master, the problem with the digital masters, Ibrek, is that the digital masters are going to be digital masters from that era. So I don't think they're going to be as high resolution as if you were to actually get the film. You have to get the film, rescan it all and recut it. But that would be amazing, though. Like, I'd pay for that. I'm a DSP. I work with folks with developmental disabilities, so I'm always looking for adaptive gear that's easy and inexpensive. Oh, Finish69, fantastic. Work with folks. What kind of developmental disabilities? Because we've got. So I one of the schools that I visit. I used to visit whenever I could, and I was really trying to connect with my privileged little tech bandits. I wanted them to go and work with the kids at this school called McCordick for developmental and physical for kids with developmental and physical disabilities. And so we were sort of, I was figuring out how to make that happen. And of course, first there was a strike. So I was trying to do a virtual tour. And then of course we got shut down for COVID. So then it was so frustrating this year, I got to say, from a tech bandit standpoint. But at that said, I've been incredibly lucky in this whole thing. And my kids have been very lucky. I'm very nervous to hear about the repercussions for the kids at McCordick, though, because so many of them are compromised in some way or another. And I know that the teachers were just the teachers. I am in awe of the people who work at McCordick, and the two women who run the school, the principal and the vice principal, are just two of the most intelligent, inspiring, brilliant women I've had the pleasure of meeting, and they were really worried about their kids, and they just, oh God, it drove them crazy because they, of course, had just gone through all this strike stuff, which had made things difficult, not impossible, but difficult. And then COVID now, they were just worried about the health of the kids. So anyways, Spinnerbreaker, what do you say? If you want some renders, look at my DeviantArt, same name as here. Oh, fantastic, Spinnerbreaker, great. MGM has already been bought out way too many times. I was reading their history the other day, and it's crazy. Even Star, we couldn't keep track. We used to joke that when we went to visit MGM, they had like a floor that was designed to look like a real office, and then all their other offices had like just boxes. Just boxes. People were like so unsure as to how long they were going to be there. They just had, they kept all their stuff in boxes. The folks I work with are dual diagnosis, so they have both mental illness and a disability. Could be autism or something along those lines. Oh, interesting, Fetish. That's, and what sort of stuff are you doing with them? It's true, Grove Spaz. I am a nightmare. I'm a nightmare for automated closed captioning. But, you know, so what I should start doing then is copying all of these over to, I think I've started doing most of them, but I should start copying all of these over to YouTube, and then YouTube will auto-generate, and that may be the way to go for that. Yeah, MGM should be bought out by Netflix or Amazon or Disney. Yeah, and in fact, you know what? I'm sure they will. What? Aaron Cross, you see? Cat's evil. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Harklight. Oh, God, the YouTube auto-generator captions suck. Yeah, but they're better than nothing. That's all I'm saying. They're better than nothing. There are times that I can't be listening. I can only be watching, and you can get a sense of what's going on and then laugh at how bad they get it. We do things like make sure they get out in the community, make sure they get their household chores done, get to work every day. Oh, that's great, Fetish. And are you doing that? Are you able to do that remotely now? Is that... Because one of the things that the school McCordick was doing, which I loved, was they were piloting this program where they were creating like an apartment set. And the kids could come in and work through their day, what they would have to do if they were living on their own, you know, with people around, and makes them feel comfortable with it. And apparently one of the things they discovered was that the kids loved being filmed and then going back and looking at the replays. So, one of the things I was looking into doing was to getting them a bunch of cameras and setting it up so they had sort of almost like a surveillance system that they could go and look and see, oh, well, that's why that didn't work. And, oh, we forgot to do this, and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm sure. Watching Critical Role with the auto subtitling has got to be insane. Always hilariously entertained by the auto captioning on certain YouTubers' videos. The ones with various accents. I know, well, you know, Jane was so frustrated because Siri just could not understand her because she has this sort of like, she almost has like an Australian accent because she's got an Americanized British, and it could never get it right. No, I have to go to work every day. 2 guys I work with live in their own apartment, very independent. They just need someone there to keep them on track. Oh, that's great, Fetish. That's so you're in there with them, and what about COVID and stuff? Is it an issue right now? I'm assuming it is. 60th anniversary of Psycho. Oh my God, I love that film. OMG. Psycho. Tony Perkins was brilliant. That's what I mean. He was sort of an inspiration to me. Tony Perkins was always the kind of person I wanted to play. Those kind of like smart, mad, twisted, fantastic actor. And he just had this wonderful sense of, this vulnerability to him that I absolutely loved. I have a cat named Sam Carter. That's very unfair for Sam Carter. Because frankly, Sam Carter is never evil. It's a challenge for me to follow his pace. English, not my native language. Sorry. Not as bad as Scotsman in an elevator. Well, I'm sure that's very true. For about 6 weeks, they were at home, all-day programs, work was canceled, staff are required to wear masks, social distance as much as possible. But of course, it's a little difficult since we're in their home. Yeah, of course, Fetish. Yeah, that is going to make it difficult. Well, thanks for looking after them. I mean, thanks for helping them out. I think that's fantastic. I mean, I'm just so inspired by the technologies available to people now, and frustrated that the cost of them are so expensive, just by the fact that they're called medical equipment, right? So I just, it's one of the reasons why I love the assistive tech stuff. And I mean, again, a lot of it's selfish indulgent stuff on my own part, like, the hearing aid stuff. I'd love to do the hearing aid thing because the number of people I know who don't have hearing aids because they're too expensive, but they could use them, right? I didn't have them for ages because there was a stigma attached. I was about to talk about this about masks the other day, going out with a kid and finding that like such a large population of Toronto wasn't wearing masks, and Baz and I were wearing our little masks. And I said to him, I said, you know what? We should embrace this. Like, if we're going to be the losers out there wearing masks and being responsible about this stuff, let's go full cyberpunk. Let's get like freaking Bane masks and have steam pouring out of them and lights and like let's have some fun with it so that maybe people might be inspired to think, oh, they're wearing masks but they're having fun with it. You know what I mean? And I think that's a big part of the Tech Bandits to me, is finding, are there fun ways that we can improve lives and inspire people to make sort of positive change and stuff. And then recently, of course, I've been really trying in my own very white way of bringing in Black Lives Matter and the whole sort of racial divide and the idea of sort of systemic racism and how we can fix things. And so again, how do you bring this stuff in and make it fun for kids, make it something that's worth pursuing, make it something that inspires them without the preaching? Because as soon as I get into the preaching, as soon as I get into the teaching or the parenting, you see their eyes glaze over. Whereas if you're just like, oh, wow, what if we did this and this and this? You can see them bouncing around and enjoying all the different things. So anyways, agreed on the masks. My buddy has a custom samurai mask. Whoa, iterator. That's the way to go. Lexi K, I mean, it helps us if you specify what the monologue is. If you tag it with a few things to help us identify it, that'd be great. I just want to make sure that if someone wrote the play that that the monologue's from, or the TV show or whatever, that they just get credit. That's all. I want to make sure that there's no, if people go to all the trouble of writing great stuff that's great enough that you actually want to speak it, then let's make sure they get their credit. David, speaking of HD versions, is there any technical possibility of an HD version of A Dog's Breakfast, either digitally or physically? Here's the funny thing: is that was filmed in HD. We have an HD version. But it never came out on DVD. So I wonder if I could ask them about that. Like do a re-release. I wondered about at some point doing a re-release that would then fund the new movie, or at least, start the new movie. But I got so many things. 72 users on Soliloquio already. Oh my gosh. Well, I only made like 5 of them. No, I only made what am I saying? I only made about 60 of them. Harklight. I imported a bunch of, so that was my thing where I hacked, like it sounds so impressive. I basically figured out how to get a comma separated file into the SQL database. So basically took a list of names of people who had submitted and then just imported it into the thing. So probably about 60 of those are ones that I've put in myself, and they all have the same password, but a very complicated one. And I will have to I'll have to put in all of their monologues individually. One of the first things, of course, that happened is the first person I went to upload, it was a .mov file. Couldn't upload it. And I thought, well, I'll just convert it. And I was like, yeah, but if I convert it, then I got to convert how many of these videos? And let me tell you. America's Weird, says Kawaii Wolf Plays. And hello, Kawaii Wolf Plays, by the way. And Jedi Killer, woohoo! Could use a hazmat suit when I go back to work in 14 days. Don't want to go back. No, that's the problem. I think a lot of us don't want to go back. And I'm wondering about not going back. I'm worrying about, I'm wondering about, is there a way I can remain mostly virtual? Because I really, really like this. I feel like I can talk to more people. I can get more stuff done, sort of. I feel like the day-to-day stuff is frustrating to me. I much prefer, look, my dream has always been to be Davros, to be part robot and plugged into the internet, and I love that idea. So, I'm really worried about going back to film sets. I'm really worried about it because you got a large bunch of people working in very close proximity under very stressful circumstances, under time restraints, under budgetary restraints. You've got people from all over the world. You've got people with many, many different perspectives on what health safety means. And I'm not sure that for me, films are worth risking lives for, honestly. So I don't know. I mean, that said, Guillermo, I'm supposed to go back and do Guillermo's movie. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Guillermo, like, I mean, look, with the Guillermo movie, I wouldn't be surprised if they moved it somewhere else that had opened up. I mean, that's like they've got to go where they're allowed to shoot, right? So, although I guess he's based here, I don't know. You know, I'd go back for Guillermo, but I am really worried about that, and I also think this is an opportunity for us to look at ways of making entertainment without massive crews and budgets and ridiculous billions of rules from various different unions and guilds and agents, and I find the whole filmmaking process so incredibly inefficient. So anyways, what a wonderful way to phrase that. Many different perspectives on what H and S means. Sorry, what was that, Grove Pass? What's being said? Means health and safety. Yes, very many different perspectives on what health and safety means. That's it. People like everything. Everyone has a different way of doing things, and it's like parenting is such a funny one for me on that one, because you go parenting by the very nature of saying, okay, no, I'm doing it this way, and you've done it differently. You're telling someone that they're doing it wrong. I mean, you don't have to say that, and I never would say that to someone about parenting or raising their dogs or any of that kind of stuff. Not that they're the same thing, but they're pretty close in some ways. I wouldn't. I would never deign to tell somebody how to raise their child, or live their life for that matter. But at the same time, by the fact that you're doing it one way and someone else is doing it another way, there's no way around saying like, well, my child is at this school because I think this is the best approach. Now that's for him. It could be different for someone else, obviously, and it is different for everybody else. But at the same time, when it comes to health stuff, I am way more uptight than Jane is. Way more uptight. I know you're shocked and surprised to hear that. But she's safe. I mean, she's really smart about it. But I don't, I freak out about it. Poor Baz, of course, is part me, so he gets a lot of that. He also plays it to the hilt because he loves, he much prefers to be home. You don't think Sam Worthington was real, did you? Sam Worthington is a virtual construct. A lot of people noticing that they can do more work from home. They feel better, work longer, not even noticing the clock. When my office partially reopened, people are actually getting less work done. Yeah, Iterator, I wouldn't be surprised, They posted a new on-set photo. Who did? Who? Kawhi Wolf Plays. Go back to movies being quarantined the entire set. Yeah, Pac-Mom, there's some really interesting re-enters. What? Oh, Avatar's re-entering what? Well, Avatar's an interesting point, though, because Avatar, you probably could film that in virtual seclusion. You're in a big studio, so you could social distance. You can shoot people further away than they are and then splice it together again. The problem is not so much being able to keep people safe on giant, multi-hundreds of million-dollar movies. The problem is movies like what Jane's doing right now, which is a couple $1 million, which sounds like a lot of money. It's not when you bring in the number of people that's involved and the amount of time and all this kind of stuff. And when you try to, you're not just, you have to have different levels, right? You have to have a group of people who come in and build the set, right? That's one whole bunch of people. You have to make sure they don't get sick. You have to make sure that they're far enough apart, which is impossible. Because if you're building a set together, you got to be, someone's got to hold, someone's got to screw, you got to have all the stuff on. Screw the screws, just to be very clear. Man, yeah. Please don't clip that. But basically, you got someone holding things while other people are like putting in the screws and stuff. You've got people working together in a closed distance. You've got all sorts of stuff in the air. From dust to paint to all sorts of things. So you can wear masks and you can protect your eyes, but you got to make sure that all of those people are clear. And then when the film set, when you come in to actually film stuff, you got to make sure your actors are clear. You've got to make sure your actors that are happy to take off their masks and make out with other actors. So you got to make sure your actors are tested all the time. They're saying you have to test your actors every 2 days. That's uncomfortable at best. You've got to quarantine for 14 days before you go anywhere. I just don't see right now how you can truly do this without putting people at risk. And I understand we've got to go back. The world's got to return. We got to start earning money and stuff. But there's also part of me that goes earning money, but at what cost? I'm in a very fortunate situation. As Jane points out, not that fortunate anymore because I haven't worked for months and have no prospect of it right now. But the point being is that, we have a house around us. We have a house that's mostly paid for. We can get by. but other people don't, and they have to work, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. I'm babbling on. I'm losing track of it. But the idea being is, I don't know the kind of things that the union's putting out now about how to be safe on set seems more like health theater than it does truly looking after people. I feel like this is just going through the motions to make sure that you can say, well, we did everything we could. When the reality is, you're basically saying, and I understand this, and I at some point will sign off on it myself, I'm sure. You're basically saying, I'm willing to take the risk. This is worth taking the risk for me. So that's what it comes down to. Dinner beef, hello. Oh my God, I went into lecture mode, didn't I? Ugh. I'm soapboxing again. I'm monologuing. What do we got? Avatar sequels resumed production. I'd be curious to know, I'm guessing, given the amount of money that they've got, they're probably able to, quarantine for 14 days and make sure that people are separate and stuff. They've got the money, I think, to do that probably properly. Xenos, we miss you so badly. Harklight, David, should I charge it to auto-approve videos? No, please don't, Harklight. So that's Soliloquio. I don't think we want people automatically posting stuff, because as soon as people realize they can post things automatically, they may start posting stuff that they shouldn't. So I do think we should have a look. Not everybody, obviously, but it just take one idiot to put up something stupid. I'm haunted by that Zoom chat. So, we did an interview about Who You Know, this movie, little Canadian movie, which is great, by the way. So it was this little Canadian podcast that tries to help out people on their first weekend of the movie out, and they did an open Zoom chat. And even as soon as I got the login, I said to Jan, I said, do they know what they're doing here? Because an open Zoom chat just seems like, there's been a lot of press about this stuff. Like, you don't have generally open Zoom. So I thought maybe they'd lock stuff down in a certain way. Sure enough, we get in there. The first thing that happens is some jerk, which I think DStat tracked down to like Finland, although it's probably just a VPN or something. Anyways, some jerk logged in, started shouting the N-word over and over and over again and screaming, and they bounced them out. And then, sure enough, they hadn't set Zoom to keep people out, so he just logged back in again, and same thing again. So so I tried to tell them about what was going on. I realized it was just so much chaos because they had like 100 people in there or something. Maybe they just didn't expect as many people. I don't know. So I just told Jane to shut it down. So we shut down our part of it. They figured it out. They had to do a personal, like a little personal Zoom, which was great. Frankly, it was amazing. Like it was absolutely lovely, and I think probably a better experience for people to watch later than they would have got if they tried to do the 20 people or whatever it was trying to speak at the same time. So I'm really very nervous about the idea of people being allowed to upload stuff. What we might be able to do, Harklight, which might be cool, is to go through, and as we see people posting stuff and we see that they're on the level and we like them and not like them. That's the point. It's not about me liking the videos or not. But that we see that they are a responsible soliloquist, then we can go ahead and give them access. But I was in an open Zoom chat with a few Stargate people for a virtual con, and it went well, all things considered. Well, good, Spinner Breaker. I'm not saying it can't be done well. Chances are you had it locked down in a good way. And we should speak on the phone. Yes, Harklight. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Pac-Mom, is these people are idiots. Normal freaking people, I hate them. There's always a way to game the system. Toi nous, je suis très bien, merci, et vous? I bet the Zoom bombers search for tweets with Zoom links. Exactly. That's Kawaii Wolf. And that's why I was like so surprised that this podcast was doing it this way. But people aren't savvy in this stuff. And I think that's one of the things that we really noticed about the shutdown was like, I like to say, very funny, Lord Locke. Very funny. And hello, Lord Locke, by the way. And hello, Twanu. Speaking of working from home, have you ever done any voice acting? Yes, Grove Spaz. In fact, earlier we were talking about this documentary that I did a voiceover for called The Fantasy Makers, I think. You've got to start passwording Zooms. Absolutely. Because people just want to be, they're just trolls. I mean, there's trolls out there. There's trolls out there. They're horrible. I have to get going. Catch y'all later. Paper Clips, thank you so much, as always. Lovely to have you here. Hey, yeah, if you don't have to do work from home type stuff on a regular basis, lockdown was rough. Yeah. And I think there's certain people, thank you, his river song. I'm going to have to like put that on the Zelenka bot so that it pops up when I forget it. So many things. Fenger, provided traveling is allowed and so on. Do you know if you can make it to FedCon in October? Fenger, I don't see it happening. I mean, like FedCon may happen, but I don't think it's going to happen with people from Canada because I just don't know how we're supposed to get out there. Um, Really, Marmalade Splash, you want us to boycott Zoom? Really? It's just, unfortunately, or fortunately, it's the easiest thing for people to use. Um, David, was there an article from the makers of Firefox about how Zoom should be set up? Yes, I did that. Thank you, Commander Ventura. I actually did. I did that. So for my Tech Bandits, I have it locked down. I think pretty much. Oh, I've got a question for you wonderful streamers out there. I'll come up there and get you. Thanks. That's not creepy at all. Cool. Yeah, sorry. So just to go back to, I should go back to FedCon again. Look, FedCon is doing everything they possibly can. And it would be amazing if we could make it happen. I just don't see it making sense to have people flown in. I mean, Germany's in a much better position than we are right now. Toronto is not in a good position. So I'm basing this entirely on where Toronto is right now. Toronto's numbers are going down for the time being, but we're opening up, so I'm worried the numbers are going to go back up again. So, yeah, one of the things that was suggested by SAG was flying alone. It was literally flying it was having private jets to fly cast in and out. And I'm like, oh, really? Well, there goes your $1.2 million budget. I mean, it's just like this kind of privilege drives me freaking nuts. And this complete lack of understanding of the rest of the world. I mean, like, it's all very good and well for freaking movie stars to talk about taking their private jets places. But first off, an environment you're destroying. And secondly, like, it's just not accessible to everybody, I don't know. It's so weird for me because I'm a privileged little brat. I always was. You know what I mean? I'm the son of a doctor who worked very hard from nothing to become a doctor and raise his son who could then go, I want to be an actor. So I feel fairly guilty about that. But I feel like you can't flaunt this stuff. Like, it's like the response to flying people around to get the industry back up and running again is not flying Learjets. Like, we've completely forgotten that the next freaking lockdown is going to be because we can't go outside because the temperatures are too high and all this kind of stuff. Oh my God, I'm on a total soapbox today. What is going on? We have to call this like Grumpy Through the Stargate. MIEZEKATZE WILDROSE. Bonjour. Hello. Bonjour. That sounds more German, I think. Hello. Hey, just wanted to say hi. Loved you in Stargate. Was thrilled to have you as a main character in Atlantis. I went nuts when you popped up in Dark Matter 2. You were awesome. Oh, no, you are awesome, WildRose. Thank you very much. That's very nice. Toronto Comic Con. Loved it. 2015. Come to Toronto. Met Chris Judge. So nice guy. I love Chris Judge. Yeah, Chris Judge. God, Chris Judge, like, made the experience of Dog's Breakfast, like, took it from a level of awesome to ultimate. Like, he showed up on set. He just, oh my God, the place just came alive. He's brilliant. You want to hear a funny story about Toronto Comic-Cons, though, is I've never been invited. I have never been invited to Toronto Comic-Con. And I'm like, I've gone to Toronto Comic-Con on my own and got kicked out because I was causing a fuss in the hallway. So basically, I went in to do like a panel for a show that I'd been on. And on the way out, people asked for autographs and stuff, so I started doing some autographs and stuff. Security came in and moved me along. Said, you can't do that here. You gotta go. And moved me out. And so I was sort of like kind of got grumpy and left because I was like, well, this stupid whole point is it's about fans and everything. But nope. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, I was basically kicked out. I mean, I wasn't kicked out, but yeah, I was definitely sort of move along, nothing to see here type thing. And I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm just going to ignore these people who are like asking me for stuff? No, it's not. Anyways. Research into who owns it. Is Skype a possible replacement? I guess Skype could be used, but it's not. The problem again is that people have taken to Zoom. Like, I don't know why, but hey, where's my Stargate Event Horizon gone offline? That's unforgivable. Let's go in and make sure that it's connected again. Okay, so that is... I'm going to connect to that again. You going to work? No? Are you not? Huh, I can see the little blue light flashing. That's why I'm doing this. So I got a little easy B board here going. It's not going to connect. Okay, so I need to reboot it then, I think is the way to go. So I've just got a little battery here. For those of you who can see what's going on. So I got a little battery here that plugs into a little tiny Easy B board, so Easy Builder board, and then lights up the top. And I guess I'm going to have to disconnect and reconnect because it's failed. It's failing to run my little lighting sequence. I want my disco light. What kind of a podcast is this without podcast? What would you call this? Stream. What kind of a stream would you call this without flashing lights? It's ridiculous. I'm going to go manually to Wi-Fi. I'm going to wait for it to load up again. Come on, where are you? Ooh, someone's got a Wi-Fi called Secret Door Recording. Okay, I'm connected to Wi-Fi Hogs. I don't want to be connected to that. That's my Wi-Fi. Where are you? You're not starting up? What's going on? Aw, come on, Stargate. Work with me here. Work with me. This is like a full-on McKay episode right here. I got to figure out how to make the start. There you go. There you go, then. There's the problem. There's no connection. The ZPM wasn't connected. My mini ZPM. It's missing a control crystal. Exactly. Knights of Nick. I do like saying that, I must say. Sadly, it sounds a certain topic because everyone is getting my drift. What does? Marmalade Splash. Silence is most... What is this going on? Where are we at? It's not the first Stargate I've had to fix. It's very true. They kicked out the funniest actor. They have no taste in good television. Discord does have video conferencing. Ooh, what's that like? I'd love to use Discord. The kids would freaking love that. Are you kidding? Like if we could be meeting on Discord, it would make it so much cooler for them, right? Because it's also not what they use at school. So I feel like I'm less of an educator and more of a gamer for them, which is frankly just a better way of getting through to them. Okay, so let's see what I've got here. So I'm in there. It does not want to connect. You little beast. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, you little tiny IO beast? Connecting. It's not connecting though, is it? Interesting. I think the problem may be... Alright, sorry folks. I'm going to do some tech support while I'm here. Here we go. I've got that. I'm going to... Okay. I would like to... Okay, Wi-Fi 2. Oh, I've got a couple of Wi-Fis. Oh, I forgot I have a couple of Wi-Fis going. That would do it. Okay. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to show available networks. I'm going to try this again. Need some percussive maintenance. I need some, I basically need, I need music. 5 hours later. Okay, trying again. If this doesn't work, it means I'm going to have to reboot, and I don't want to reboot, because if I reboot, then we're not going to lose all of you. I'll lose y'all! I'll have to figure it out next time, then. It just sometimes, I guess it's Windows just gets messed up on their Wi-Fi connections. Like, it doesn't like you changing... It does not like you changing connections, I got to say. Let's see. If I do this... Is it going to let me do this now? Let's see. Oh, could we have it? Could I have the wee beast going? Let's have a look. I'm looking up. Oh, yeah. You probably don't see any change at all, but I know it's running. Okay, what do we got? Get an old Dell notebook and start typing. That'll fix it. No kidding. Remember the old Dells? God, they weighed a ton. All right, what do we got? So what was this? Keep calm. McKay will fix it. You got it. I'm on it. My Wi-Fi network is NSA listening station. Nice. Nice. I like it. I used to call mine... police something. I had ones called police district or, I loose a crystal in the gate. Exactly, Scuba Cat. Exactly. Sorry, David. Gotta go. Thanks much. Be safe. Safe, everyone. John P7. Don't apologize at all, but thank you for being here. Don't say sorry for going. Let us say thank you for being here. Have a good one, P7. You too. Stay safe. All right. What else we got? It must be one of those weird-ass Stargate universe gates. All right, so that's a polynomial. How are you? I'm not sure I even said hi to John P7 before he said goodbye. Prior derori. Dr. Rodney has already fixed it. All right, what do we got? Wi-Fi's named FBI surveillance fan. I like that too. I've seen Wi-Fi called 5G death ray. Oh, that's good. That is good. When I'm on American servers in Discord, I usually have a ping of 100. Really? My neighbor's Wi-Fi is Jesus is Lord and their password is John 3:16. Yeah, totally legitimate, Spinner Breaker. Totally legitimate. Moment for coffee. Delicious, rather cold coffee. I've seen Wi-Fi called FBI surveillance van. So you've seen that. So you're probably in the same neighborhood as whoever it was who used that. Although I guess there's probably like a list of cool Wi-Fi names. Grove Spaz. Love thy neighbor's Wi-Fi. You know, funny, Wi-Fi is an interesting one because on film sets, there is one of the few people I've seen who took this very seriously was Guillermo, who's very good about protecting, like keeping his stuff on separate networks and things. He's very good from the security standpoint. But for the most part, the security on film sets and TV sets is ridiculous. Like, you get access to their router. You can get in so easily. I mean, I've done it to look just to see if it's possible, but absolutely. You're on a Wi-Fi that with other people, you could totally, like, I don't know, Wireshark or whatever, and like just sniff at those packets and see what people are doing. Like, it's something that people don't think of. Like, you know, you got a day player come in, like you get somewhere, even just even just someone's working on the crew for a day or whatever. They could come in, they log into the network, they have full access to their networks. I'm amazed at how lax this stuff is. I wondered about creating like a Hollywood IT company that just goes like, you know, you're worried about people like having private photos sent out and scripts being stolen or footage or whatever. Like, they're like, there's the gaping holes in the security for this stuff. So it's one of those things. Whenever I go on a film set, I'm always like very careful about what I'm accessing. And with what. Like, I'm a great example. I'll tell you, a great example for me was I was filming in Ottawa this year. And so I was coming and going from Ottawa. I would go and I would check into this really nice little sort of hotel apartment thing that they had set up. And then I would go home. I'd come back for the next session and I would be in a different apartment. And after like a couple of trips back and forth, I found my internet was so slow. So I went to look at it and I realized I was still logged in to the network that I had signed into the first time I was there. So every time I would come in and log into they give you a new password and everything, you'd log in and you create a new network. Well, for some reason, I guess because I don't know, whatever the reason was, the Wi-Fi automatically logged into one of my previous Wi-Fi connections. And that was my room from like 4 over and 3 down type thing, whatever it was. So I'm literally on a network. And you could see all the guys' phones on everything on there. And I was like, oh my God, this is like security. It's like a nightmare. So basically, while they had separate internet connections and passwords for everybody's room, they didn't change the passwords. So you were basically able to access any of the previous rooms that you had. So anyways, things that just people don't think about this stuff, right? I used to love the Wi-Fi routers. I used to love the Apple Wi-Fi routers. The, what do they call them? The... Apple networking or the pods or whatever they're called. I can't remember. My Wi-Fi is the Sanctuary network. Oh, that's good. Hey, did you see the SG1 DHD restored by a French fan? Atlanta props on Facebook. Oh, no, I haven't. I'll have to check it out, Tuano. I'm slightly paranoid about having a separate Wi-Fi network for my Tesla over-the-air updates. Yeah. Wow. Which Tesla do you have, Kawhi? My son wants a Tesla so badly. I was like, well, we've got an electric wheelchair. Maybe we could build our own little version. All this why every YouTube video has a VPN sponsor these days. Well, I just signed up to one. I don't remember the name of it now. What's it called? Surfshark. I just signed up to Surfshark. So I was using Pro XPN, and I really like them, and I still pay for them because I paid for the year, but I can't. Like, the access sucks, and the speed is so slow. So I signed up for the Surfshark, and sure enough, it's amazing. I can go in and watch Japanese Netflix. I'm watching Tokyo Ghoul. My son's recommended Tokyo Ghoul, so I've been watching that. I'm not sure he should have been watching it, but it's pretty grim. So I can do Japanese Netflix, I can do British Netflix or British Prime, any of these kind of things. So it's been amazing, and I'm quite impressed with them, I gotta say. Model 3 long range, nice. I almost ended up with a Doctor Who Dalek in the back of my van when I was working for a coffee company, BBC. We're waiting for a pickup and almost put the Dalek in the back of my van when I got there. Nice. DHD restoration. It's the original from SG1. He let the production team for Origins borrow it, and they repainted and broke it. What? He's still pissed at them for it. one of the conditions was not changing the props they borrowed, and they did that a lot. He lost tens of thousands of dollars of original props because of them? Oh my God, spin a breaker. That's insane. Never lend anyone anything. Never a lender nor a borrower be. Yeah, because, basically, spin a breaker, that's what happened to me, right? So we lent our Stargate set to the production of this film that we were making, and they repainted it all and changed it all and ripped out pieces because they wanted to make it their own. God, people are just people have no respect for these things, and then they all got chucked out at the end, which was also really frustrated the hell out of me. Same, using ExpressVPN, doing same as can access Netflix in other countries. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I love it. David, have you looked up Jazza on YouTube? He makes a Tesla Cybertruck out of a golf cart. Oh, that's cool. Huh. I like the sound of that. I have watched, Bad Robots, whatever it's called, or like Shitty Robots, I think they're called. She turned her Tesla into a pickup truck, which I think is brilliant. She's brilliant, for that matter. I once had to fight off a friend of a friend trying to borrow my Stargate DVDs. Don't lend people DVDs. I have DVDs. I look through my collection. I'm looking through like my Werner Herzog collection. I'm missing a DVD. And I don't know who I lent it to. I lent Guillermo del Toro my first copy of a couple of comic books, and I've given up on those too. But I knew when I gave it to him that he's going to forget. So, wait, they loaned the Atlantis set to another production? No, not the Atlantis set. This was SGU when they were ripping it apart. Simon Gertz, I know. Simone Gertz or Simone? Yeah, Simone Gertz, I love her. Or Geitz, I don't know. Okay, must be going. Keep being awesome, David, and adios, folks. Lord Locke, thank you for coming by. Much appreciated. David, can you be the next Doctor? Yes or no? I would love to, Twino. I'm actually British, so I could be. But you know what? I think the old white Doctor days are done. I think it's time for someone different to do it. I'll tell you what I'd love to do. I would love to do a series like Doctor Who now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I got to sort of do a Doctor Who thing with McKay, like the grumpy Doctor approach. But man, Doctor Who, I loved it. Oh, Lexi K, Mr. Robot. The first season, I loved it until the last episode. So I'm going to say, last episode ruined it, absolutely ruined it for me. And then I tried watching season 2 and I was like, nah. But they are without a doubt the most accurate hacking stuff I've ever seen. Art, one of my biggest loves. Some of this stuff is just hilarious. What's this, Berkeley? Is the Cybertruck huge? Proton VPN, very good because they respect your privacy and don't log anything. Oh, that's interesting. I'm almost not worried. Maybe I should be, I suppose. I'm also not that worried about it, to be honest. I don't really care what people find out about me. I just don't want them. I don't want them hacking my email and stuff. I just don't want to have people sending out emails as if they were me and stuff. Hey, Bugs, K100RS. Idris Elba. What about Idris Elba? He would be amazing as the Doctor. Oh my God, if that's what you're saying. Idris would be fantastic. Isn't it Idris Elba? David, would you ever cast for a Big Finish Doctor Who audio drama? You know, it's funny. I think that would be fun. Here's the only problem with audio dramas for me. I don't like it when they make up voices. I mean, I don't like being taken out of the book. Like, I want to imagine the stuff myself. So when I hear people going like, all right, Doctor, and doing all the different voices, it throws me off. So if I was to do reading a book, I would try very hard for it to be just reading the book. Like, I don't want any of the radio drama stuff attached to it. I just want to be able to read the book. I prefer that myself. Yes, Idris Elba, Monica Lake. Well put. Oh my God, love Death Robots. Oh, it's so good. So good. Altered Carbon. I couldn't get into Altered Carbon. I tried Altered Carbon. I don't know. I was like, really? Like, we're still doing Blade Runner? Like, it was the same sort of damp neon world as before, and I just found it. Yeah, I got confused. I'm like I don't know. Also just so much of it depends on my mood when I start watching this stuff. Even Star, but it's viewing parties with friends. I don't want to miss either. What's that? I watched 3 seasons of Mr. Robot, but the last one is just, I don't know, lame. But the actor Rami Malek is fantastic. Rami Malek, we're in New York on the subway, and Jane goes, "Look, it's Rami Malek." And I was like, no, it's not. And then, you know, I was like, oh yes, you know, every guy of like, you know, whatever Middle Eastern descent is Rami Malek or whatever. Sure enough, it was Rami Malek. And I was like, duh! Like literally, like the doors start closing. I was like, duh! That was my response to him. I think he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I don't know where he's from, by the way, but if you love robots, you can be a Dalek. That's what I want to be, Twanu. Basically, but I'm thinking maybe more Cyberman though. They're a little bit more, you know, they got a little bit more movement. But Daleks are the coolest. That's what I wanted. Like the first thing I ever built, my first cosplay was a freaking plunger in a box. Was a toilet plunger in a box, and I was being wheeled around by my father in a wheelbarrow, being a Dalek. That was it. I didn't know Michael Shanks was on Altered Carbon. Oh, I haven't seen him on that. Hey, Harklight! Woohoo! Thank you very much. Exterminate. I still say Dalek wrong, though. I say Dalek with an R. That's sorry. I was talking with friends last night, and we wondered whether Chuck ever said ZPM instead of ZPM, as his character is also Canadian. Anyone know? I would think he would say Z, but, you know, that's just me. So, theme of world domination. Yeah, I tend to do that. Yeah, but did he die on that? What? Don't Knights of Neat! Mini Dalek Hewlett. Yep. Altered Carbon, loved Altered Carbon, but I did have to be in the mood for exactly the type of series. Yeah, it definitely is. It's kind of one of those, you know, it's one of those dark, brooding, nihilistic future things. Is it harder to act in a blue screen filled environment as opposed to a regular set? That's hard to say anymore because I feel like I've done so much of it now that I almost don't see the difference. I guess in a way, there's always a little bit more sort of technical aspects to working with green screen or blue screen or even no screen as it works right now. Also I'm a little, as I've said, ADHD. So I tend to be sort of squirrel technology. Like I get very wrapped up in the technology and the way they're shooting stuff. So I definitely find green screen can be a little bit more distracting for me and my ADHD type. But honestly, no, they're all fake, right? All these environments are fake. There's just, no matter what you do, it's why I've never really understood method acting in film and TV, because the reality is you're surrounded by people holding lights and moving lights and having to adjust things and talking amongst themselves or waving frantically for things to change or background performers to walk by so you're constantly, there's so much stuff there. Like for me, I think the hardest part about acting is ignoring all that or figuring out a way to use it in the scene. So I don't think there's a huge difference. I think it's a big part of it is really just ignoring the camera and the stuff you're not supposed to be aware of in the scene, right? But even that, sometimes the very act of trying to ignore stuff adds an element to the scene, I think, that wouldn't be there otherwise. So, my vote, you know what? There you go. Xenos, I'm in. I'm totally in. If they do a Davros, a new Davros with whatever doctor they've got, I would do Davros in a second. Or the Master. I love the Master. Although Missy's so much, she's so much fun too. So I don't know. No, Davros. I'm in for Davros. I would actually break my rule of not doing, prosthetics for Davros, I think. All right. I love all actors from SG-1, but my favorite was Michael Shanks. Michael Shanks is wonderful. He's fantastic. They were all fantastic though. Like, I mean, if you like, how can you not love, Chris Judge or Amanda Tappings, or it's so hard. I don't know how you pick a favorite of those bunch. They're all lovely. Marmalade Splash, Sunday's truly so heartbreaking. Any memories from filming that episode? Oh my God. It was really awkward and weird. And I think, I will say at that point, I think they had mentioned the idea of ways of getting him back. I think by the time we actually shot it, they were talking about ways of getting him back. So, they brought back the Master with Jodie. They brought back a male Master with Jodie. Oh, they did. Oh, okay. All right. Are they any good? How was the new Master? I've not been keeping up with Doctor Who, I'm afraid. I'm a bit of a traditionalist when it comes to my science fiction. I like my old shaky sets and rubbery aliens. I find the CG can be a bit distracting for me now. The new Master's great. Who is the new Master, by the way? Fumbles McStupid. Who is it? Oh yeah, no, I've done prosthetics, Gravity Gunner. Nowadays, I'm too old and grumpy for that stuff. Like, have you watched Another Life? No, I haven't seen Another Life. Is that the Prime one about the future? Mountains sway in the breeze. Mountains, the sway and the breeze. Squirrels. What do you got, Harklight? Squirrels? Hi, David in chat room. Mr. Clean 100. I am late, but I am glad I didn't totally miss today's live stream. Oh, well, you're welcome, Mr. Clean. Thanks for dropping by. I don't know. How long have I been going? I don't even know. I figure I'll wrap up when the kid comes home. So I'll probably have a bit of time. Scientists are simply the best. I mean, Rodney McKay, Daniel Jackson, Scientist episodes. Yeah, it's true. The Scientists, honestly, I think the Scientists were best written for in Stargate. Like, I think we definitely had a, I think they were well represented in the writer's room. You know what I mean? The idea of scientists. Although no women. Were there any women writers on our show? I don't think there were. I don't think there were any women, which is weird because, I'm surprised. I would have thought that would be something that would have been sort of more needed because there was a lot of great female characters in the show. I don't know. Maybe they had. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not aware of it. Did Stargate use science advisors, and if so, were they there on set? Very rarely polynomial. The only person that I remember is Mika. Am I saying that right? Mika, who did all the math stuff for us. She was amazing. God, she's fantastic too. She's a big science. She's a big science educator and communicator now as well. So, no, the new Dark Crystal series can't do it. Cannot do it. Sorry, tried, didn't work for me. I'm so grumpy about stuff now. I almost only watch. I'm now watching movies, and I'm watching nonfiction stuff. That's really all I do now. How long are your average shooting days on Atlantis, and what was your longest day? So they were usually around 14 hours, I think, the days. There were some that got up there. There was probably some that got into, like, maybe 15, 16 hours, maybe. They were rare. For the most part, they tried to keep the 12-hour days, but a 12-hour day still means, makeup time and changing time and all that kind of stuff. So it's usually around, maybe I shouldn't say 14, maybe like 13 hours. So the 13-hour days basically, and then on long days we'd get to 14 or 15, probably something like that. Thank you, Spin a Breaker. How long? We got that. We were just directing an episode of SGA. Yeah, Marmalade Splash. That's why I made Dog's Breakfast. I made Dog's Breakfast because I wanted to direct an episode of Stargate Atlantis. It was in my contract that they would consider it. And they did not want it. They did not want their actors directing. That became very apparent. I wish now that I'd fought it, but at the time I went, well, if they don't want me to direct, why would I want to direct? Why do I want to direct? They're not going to be, they're not going to help me if they don't want me to direct. But I definitely found that that was a bone of contention for me moving forward. It was very frustrating because I felt that I really wanted to show. I wanted to learn the ropes, and I felt like I'd done enough episodes that I was like, I could learn something with this. Because I'm a nerd. I always want to try stuff. It's like but it became very, very apparent they did not like actors directing stuff. So Catherine Powers wrote for SG1. Well, so there's only one really. Do you still have a secret relationship with Paul? Yes, Lexi K, all the time. He sends me flowers all the time. Jonathan Frakes directed tons of TNG. Yeah, again, because I think that they had an environment that fostered that. Like, I think that there are some people who there are some productions that like that and work with that. There's also some actors that demand it. I've never been terribly good about demanding stuff when it comes to contractual stuff. So I'm always I tend to be talked out of like laying down the law and so, Jesus, I'm blinded myself. For laying down the law. Laying down the law for contractually getting myself directing stuff I've been terrible at. So, Sasha Dwan is the new master. Okay, and they're good, are they? Yeah, I mean, but that's it. Like, in my mind, I think, like, who knows the show better than the people who've been on it every single day of every episode? I mean, like, I just feel like you've got so much to bring to the show. And opportunities that you see that don't happen for people who've just come in for short periods of time. So, yeah, I was very frustrated that it didn't happen for me. And then I pursued directing for a long time with shows. And, one of the reasons why I didn't return to Dark Matter was because I was supposed to get I was supposed to be being considered for writing and again for directing, and the same thing happened. I wasn't getting it, so I just sort of walked away because I felt like look, I'm doing these. I'm in this show, and I'm happy to be a part of it, and I appreciate being a part of it. But part of my contract was that I wanted to direct, and I just didn't feel like it was being taken seriously again. And I'd been through all this with Stargate already, so it's probably a lot of PTSD on that, where I was just like, oh my god, it's happening all over again. So I was like, I don't want to deal with this, so I walked away. And they did an amazing job. The guy who came in and did that stuff, I thought did a great job of it. And look, there you go. Someone else's career has got some fun stuff to play with. Oh my gee, Orville's coming back! Woohoo! Oh my god, I'd love to do the Orville. I don't watch a lot of it, but what I've seen, I've seen. What was the most surprising thing directing you learned when directing A Dog's Breakfast? Don't like actors. I don't like actors. I'm sorry. I find actors very difficult. I feel like, I think the way I want to direct, I think, if anything, I should probably be directing animation, because I feel like my way of looking at things is very, I sort of feel like I'm a control freak, absolutely a control freak. And yet at the same time, I think the best stuff I do is stuff that happens by accident. So it's this weird way of trying to find, how do you find a way of incorporating the actor stuff into your vision of stuff? And so I got to this point where I realized, well, wait a second, just because it's not the way you had a vision for it doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong way of doing it. So the idea of like trying to find things that people brought to the scene that originally my response is like, that's wrong. You go, okay, well, wait, no, okay, so that's where they've gone with that. That's interesting. What if we do? So there's a lot of like sort of riffing on it. I felt that I came into Dog's Breakfast with a very rigid view of what I wanted to do with things. And I was very demanding in the shots that I came up with. I was very specific about what shots I wanted, and that was great. I think, and God, the team we had working on that was just amazing for that. And then working with Paul, working with Kate, where they all came in with these different things, and I'd be like, I don't know if I like that, and then that's not what I came up with. Then you realize that your job is basically like a conductor. Your job is to conduct all these different aspects. And while I loved aspects of it, I also hated aspects of it. So I think if I was to ever go back to directing now, it would be something animated, because I feel like I love the tools that are involved in animation. I love the idea that you can now, with motion capture, bring in your favorite actors, have them perform stuff, and then use that to use the elements that you can't come up with yourself, the mistakes, the different approaches to things. Use that in an animated sense would just be amazing. Plus, I wouldn't have to leave the house. 100 people watching me. Oh my God! Now I feel kind of self-conscious. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's my cue. I guess that's my cue. How long have we been going for? Jesus, what time is it? Could someone do the uptime? What's the uptime on us? Because my wife and son are home. I should probably go and say hello. 1 hour and 47 minutes. Okay, well that's not too bad. Joe Flanagan got to write some for Outcast. Yeah, Joe Flanagan. But again, that was tough for him. Like he got a lot of flack on that, and he felt like, I got the sense that he felt like he was basically ignored on what he wanted to do with the script. But again, I also feel like that would be a tough one to write. It would be very, very tough to write an episode of Stargate. I pitched them on a couple of episodes as well. I wanted to do Jade and I came up with one, and it was God, what was it called? Wonderful little film about So it is about an oil company that wants to come in and take over a tiny little village, and local hero. I wanted to do a local hero version episode where basically we came in and our arrival triggered this sort of like sell-off, like where basically people were selling off the land that they were living in type thing. So yeah, absolutely brilliant film. I loved it. One of my favorite movies of all time. Cal is Ruby Kay's Eating Chips. Good to know. McKay spinoff, Shut Up and Take My Money. Perfect. I'm starving, getting grumpy. Yeah, me too, Cal. I haven't had my lunch yet. Yeah, and I shouldn't speak for what Joe. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what Joe felt, but the sense I got was that, his experience of writing for the show was not what he had in mind. So, Marmalade Splash, no pleasure. That's what we're here for, right? I mean, it's just. I'm always happy to answer Stargate questions. I mean, I don't want to be, frankly, I don't want to only be talking Stargate because that's boring for me. But cinnamon rolls, as always, food envy. My Wi-Fi name is Atlantis. Yes, okay, good. So we have to roam around. I'll do some roaming around looking for it. For those needing an Orville Stargate crossover, here's the Orville fighting the Wraith. Thank you, Spinner Breaker. Yeah. Why do you torture me, Cal? Xenos is torturing me, not you. You're so selfish. Ruby K. My Wi-Fi name is Stargate. Is also Stargate related. Is it? What I could call them? What do I call them? I think we called the Wi-Fi hogs or something. I got to change that. Lost my feed for a bit. Pac Mom, what? My husband nicely brought in lunch while I was sitting here. River Song, you've got the best husband ever. Where's mine? Where's my lunch? I guess they're probably making it now. I feel weird stopping before 2 hours, though. I feel like I should do my 2 hours. Fixing steaks tonight. Oh, Xenos, let me tell you this. So one of our local restaurants, which is having a lot of trouble, I'm not sure it's going to make it, they are putting together a Father's Day meal barbecue. So they put together all the fixings, everything you need, even the beer. I might even have a beer. So we've ordered enough for myself, for our family, and for mom and dad. So for my mom and my stepmom and my dad, they're going to come over. We're going to do a socially distanced barbecue. So that should be really fun. Selfish. If I could pull the ZPM on your stream, grrr, Cal. I love Grumpy Cal. She's the best. Where's Jane going? She's going again? She's leaving again? Where are they going? I don't know what's going on. There's all sorts of back and forth and back and forth. It's very exciting out there. This is it. I don't actually like going out, but I like being the guy in the window, squirreling. I'm or not squirreling. I'm meerkatting the whole time. What's going on? What's going on? Bird, squirrel, wife. My computer's and Wi-Fi name is Stargate related, of course. Well, you've seen this, right? My Drobo, my big RAID drive over here is called Meredith. That's that's what it is. And I wrote something in Ancient on there, but I don't remember what it is now. Rear window taught you nothing. Seems not. Potatoes and tuna. That's a good combo. Toileau. Au revoir, Toileau. Merci beaucoup. Je suis très... qu'est-ce que c'est happy? Très jolie parce que vous êtes ici. So, merci. That is the worst French ever. Désolé, Toileau. Désolé. Désolé pour le français. Toileau. When I was little, I planned a Stargate-themed birthday party. It never happened. What? Annette? Are you kidding? Oh, yeah. We have to let me know next birthday. Give me a little bit of warning on your next birthday. We'll see if we can come up with something. The least I can do is sing you happy birthday. I'm very good at it. Sorry for the spam, Grove Spaz, but it might be important enough not to miss. Be careful mentioning Wi-Fi names online. There's open source maps of Wi-Fi names, so if your Wi-Fi name is unique enough, they can get your location quite accurately. Wow. Here's the thing. I feel like if people want to find my address, they probably will. And if they want to show up, they will find that I will not be very happy about it. Dog's Life. I love the shots where you were doing things in the background outside the house. Oh, I love that stuff. I love that stuff. That was me doing the fall, and my wife almost cut the camera because she thought I'd hurt myself. I had. But I landed on the ground. Yeah, it was just, I was so inspired by the Pink Panther and by all of Peter Sellers' stuff, and I love that physical comedy of the stuff, that I just, I wanted silly stuff happening in the background. It was always something that I found very funny. It was like when something's happening in the foreground, but something funnier is happening in the background. I loved it, so there you go. So yes, I landed on my back in a puddle, and I shouldn't have done it, and the stuntman almost murdered me after that. But yeah, that was absolutely my own thing. And I would never do it again now. I'd snap like a twig. Even Star. Legit, I want to know where to learn Ancient. Well, you know what? There's an Ancient font. There's literally a font you can get, and you can just type things out in Ancient. I mean, obviously you're pretty, but I'm not sure that's what you meant. Fumbles Big Stupid. Was it? I mean, thank you. Care Bear at Hallie says, my wedding was partly Stargate themed. Really? Our original wedding bands had a point of origin engraved on the back. That's cool. The rest of the themes were Doctor Who, Harry Potter. Oh, wow. So you had a full-on nerd wedding. I like that. We got married in a castle. We got married in Warwick Castle. In fact, I think if you go and look at their wedding planning materials, you may find some photos of Jane and I getting married in there, because that was like Jane's dream, was to get married. I found out from her father that her dream was always to get, was it her father? No, it was her friends had said, oh my God, Jane's dream was always to get married in a castle. So when it came up, we were like, all right, I'm working on Stargate. Let's do it. I don't even want the signature on delivery people showing up. Yeah, well, Kawaii Wolf, do they even do that anymore? Now they just leave it on the porch now, don't they? I was going to tell you a time travel joke, but you didn't like it. Ha! Bugs! Nice! I have to use that one on my son. It took him a while to get it. Still getting over, well, probably less time than me. Still getting over the toothbrushing scene. Oh yeah, Knights of Neat. I did actually share my toothbrush with a dog. Boy, Jane was not happy about that. I think she gave me hand sanitizer for my mouth. I have a box full of old Stargate-themed birthday party paper goods. Found them in a dollar store one day, cleaned them out. Great fun at cons for in-room. I didn't even know they did party paper. You know, Riversong, next time we're on, show us some photos. I'd like to see that stuff, because I didn't even know they did that. Spock or Data? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I grew up on Spock, right? So Spock was kind of my guy, but Data is like, you know, robot. I love Peter Sellers' Pink Panther. Monica Lake, well, that's basically what I basically just ripped off the Pink Panther for Dog's Breakfast. Nerd Wedding, I love nerd weddings. Have you ever, you know that I once got, I wonder if I'm still registered. I registered for this like Church of the Spiritual Humanists, which basically says, as soon as we discover God, I will acknowledge his existence. But and only then. And it allowed me to marry some friends of ours in California. So I actually conducted the ceremony for this couple of ours. And then the big joke was that I should start doing it. That would be like my way of like, that's how I would fund things from then on in. After the show was finished, and I would just do Stargate. I would just officiate at Stargate weddings. I've never done it, and I'm not sure I ever will. But I just thought that was kind of funny that I'm actually a registered, I can marry people in the state of California. Spock is my favorite. I loved Spock as a character because he was just so completely new to me. Yeah, I just loved him. I loved his logic. I loved everything about him because I just was so the absolute bones of him. I was so the opposite. I was so this ridiculously non-logical, blustery bones, but I so wanted to be Spock. Not my photo, but this is the stuff from the original film. Am I allowed to click on links? Is that safe? I'm going to try. Oh my god, that's great! Oh, Stargate hats, that's wicked! I mean, and incredibly cheap, and looks like probably a direct ripoff, and I think almost for sure that our little friends at MGM would lock them down in a second, would have them sued beyond belief. It's never too late to start officiating those weddings. Maybe a Zoom Stargate wedding? Ooh. Don't I have to be there, though, for that? Isn't that the whole point of officiating that stuff? I don't know. The hand would have stayed on screen. If so, make it more credible. What's this? What's this? What's this? Did you have a toy tricorder and a phaser? I did. I had a toy phaser, but not a tricorder. Thank you, Monica Lake. What is the Beast of Bottomless Lake? No, I didn't see Nichols' movie of that. Okay, David, did you share the toothbrush with Mars? Yeah, Pac Mom, I totally did. I brushed his teeth, and then I was supposed to put down the toothbrush and grab another one. But it was taking too long, and it was so obvious that something was happening that I just decided, what the hell? So I brushed his teeth, and then I brushed mine. Oh my god, Jane was... I could almost hear her gagging while we were shooting it. Because Jane basically, like... I came up with shots, admittedly. I came up with the shots. I wrote the script, admittedly. But Jane basically directed it because she was behind the camera making sure everything was, like, cool the whole time. So, Cal, he did... What do you mean, poor Mars? Oh, Pac-Mom, you have just... Et to Pac-Mom. Well, you've joined the Cal Army. What's going on here? Oh, we both had an away. He did go off screen for an intended swab. What? What's that? What's going on? I missed something. Gotta go by. Oh, that's gotta go. Bye. Jedi Killer, thank you for coming by. Appreciate it. Goodbye. Jane was, are you kidding? That's why I got given, like, hand wash. I got given, like, literally hand sanitizer to wash my mouth out with before I could get anywhere near it. Before I get anywhere near Jane again. Yes, Jedi Killer, thanks for coming by. Sorry if I didn't say hi earlier, but thank you for coming. Good luck finding a copy. Nickel did that in 2010. Puddle Jumper or Galileo 7. What did the toothbrush taste like? Commander Lake, it tasted like dog. It tasted like dog's breath. That's exactly what it tasted like. It tasted like the horrible, you know. Okay, the list of people who have to join David's Twitch. What? Dog biscuits. No, it didn't taste like, it tasted like it tasted like Baz's. It tasted like Mars's bad breath. That's what it tasted like. I do not know any Czech, and I don't want to know any Czech because I don't want to know what Nickel was saying behind my back the entire time. All right, when this coffee's gone, I'm leaving, just so everyone knows. So I got Underground happening next Sunday. Baz and I, I'm sure, will be streaming. We've got to figure out a summer schedule because I just don't know that the times we've got right now are going to work. Sorry, David. My dental hygiene is showing we have so many more types of bacteria in our mouths than dogs. Look, I did not kill Mars. That was old age. Sorry, I thought I could insert breaks in messages. Evening Star. What is that? Sorry, what? Did you crave also after? Oh, did I crave dog biscuits after? Yeah, quite. Kid or dog, very little difference. Coffee equals life. It's true, Bugs. I think one of his Czech lines translated to something like, Jesus, I can't work with these actors. Yeah, I've got to say, I'm not sure how I feel about breaking the fourth wall on that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you're gonna improv, you got to be careful. You keep that in keeping with it. I'd heard about that before, and I was like, I don't know about that. Because that just kind of like, to me, that sort of like breaks the world for people. See you Sunday for Stargate. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, Saren Smith, Saren Smith. I got your 3D printer stream yesterday. Wasn't it fun? Oh my gosh, Mr. Clean. I am a huge like makerspace nerd now, and what I'm trying to do is sort of get together a bunch of tech that I can then let the kids at, because I feel like the 3D design and stuff is so important for them to get a handle on. Deadpool is something years away from fourth breaks, but yes, it does. But I think that you need to be. I think that's a decision that the writers and producers should make. I don't think that's a decision that actors should make. That's all. And again, the problem with being on a series for a long period of time is you can get a bit sort of stroppy about stuff, and you can tend to sort of throw out stuff that may not be right. But I do worry a little bit about that stuff because you got to remember it's also going to be shown in the Czech Republic, right? So what do you do with that? Anyways. Okay. Is it okay to message you on things, David? I'm stuck with my G3 watch. That, and I have a friend with a resin 3D printer and a normal 3D printer. I want to get your thoughts on things from a tech side. Well, Scuba Cat, absolutely. Message. I gotta say, it's really hard to be in touch with everybody. What you should do is, if you want to talk about 3D printing stuff, then you should definitely come into one of our 3D print streams. And maybe I should start doing some 3D print streams. The G3 watch, you're stuck with it. Is that the one? Is that what they're calling the Samsung one now? I think that is what it is. I've stopped wearing one because I'm so paranoid about attracting more disease and washing my hands all the time. In fact, so much so that I put my wedding ring on my little bracelet, on my little necklace that my wife made for me. Yeah, they don't have wood shop in the kids' school. I mean, look. The reality is, I think, honestly, that CAD and 3D printing is probably more important for more kids, Bayer. I think, because it's accessible. The wood stuff, the wood shop, there's so many liability issues with it. Look, I would love to have done wood. I would love to have done shop class when I was a kid. But it wasn't available for us. But the idea that CAD and 3D printing, it's not even so much the 3D printing. It's just the idea if they can manipulate and create objects in 3D. The 3D design affects almost every aspect of our world now. Every profession known to man basically uses 3D design in some way. So I think it's a great thing for them to be doing. And it's something that I really push my kids on, my Tech Bandits kids on. Pac-Mom, was a good stream even though you don't 3D print. Yes, you do though, Pac-Mom. You do 3D print. Well, you 3D CNC certainly. And I'm sure you must do some 3D printing as well. Aren't you using a resin printer of some sort, Pac-Mom, in the offices? Oh, Mitch Pileggi, Marmalade Splash, even just the mention of his name. He is absolutely one of the most wonderful human beings I've ever had the pleasure of working with. Mitch Pileggi is absolutely, I absolutely love that man. He made me laugh so freaking hard. Him and Robert Picardo, I cannot say enough nice things about them. But Mitch and I were awful. Like, we just crack each other up all the time. We'd walk into scenes, and he would laugh, or I would laugh. I mean, I was merciless with him. I used to joke about, certain moves that he would make when he was talking. I freaking love that man. I love that man so, so much. I cannot say enough things about it. And also, I was a huge X-Files fan. Like, I watched X-Files. My girlfriend and I at the time, we binge watched, like, DVD after DVD after DVD of X-Files. And, Skinner, love him. I used to tease him mercilessly about he was once, people's surprisingly sexy individual. So he was like an actor that was labeled surprisingly sexy. So at the end of every take, I would come up and go like, the thing about that was that it was surprisingly sexy. Anyways, what do we got? AutoCAD confuses the F out of me. Too much math. Really? Well, AutoCAD is rough. You know what? If you want to just play, honestly, Care Bear, if you just want to play with 3D design, it's ridiculously simple and ridiculously fun. Use Tinkercad. And if you want something more advanced, use Fusion 360. They're both free, easy to use stuff. Or even Blender, although Blender, there's a big learning curve on Blender. Rob Ricardo has an amazing voice that I mock him about all the time. X-Files. Oh, yeah. X-Files, man. I loved X-Files. All right. I want to learn how to design objects in 3D. It sounds like it would be fun and endlessly useful. So Jared Khalif, I would suggest, check out Tinkercad. The other thing about Tinkercad is you can then, even if you don't have a 3D printer, you can export it into Lego. So you can export your models into simple Lego blocks, and it will walk you through each layer of how to build it. I don't know how complex you can get. I've never tried it, but I love the idea that they're saying, like, sure, not everyone can afford a 3D printer, so let's provide other alternatives for them. The other thing you can do is you can export it into Minecraft. So you can actually create something and then import it into Minecraft and have it in your Minecraft world. So it's different ways. It's like 3D printing in virtual reality in a way. So yeah, definitely check that out. And then if you don't, as I say, if you find it too limiting, but the reality is, if you find it too limiting, for the most part, it just means you haven't figured it out yet. But Fusion 360 is also another great one for doing that. Did you have a crush on Amanda Tapping in real life? I will not answer that. I am married. Yes. Hello, David. Elab. How are you, Elab2369? Welcome to our stream of wonderfulness. My brain needs to get back to writing editing mode so I get this damn second book edited and published. Damn right, Care Bear. Go to work. Kevin Smith. He was underused. Kevin Smith is like a freaking movie star. And a grumpy little guy, too. We got along very, very well. We got along fantastically. Yeah, I really enjoyed working with Kevin. I used to look forward to it. But he's very antisocial. So I found that even I, who's quite antisocial, was sort of surprised at how he just didn't, like we'd go to like conventions and stuff. And I'd say, hey, you want to go meet for a drink or something? And he'd be like, no. And I'd be like, oh, okay. He's a grumpy old soul, that guy. But yeah, we had a lot. I certainly had a lot of fun with him on set. Okay, friends, thanks so much for helping me smile, providing a bit of distraction from my crap life right now. I really need it. Have to go tutor a friend in stats. Okay, Pac Mom, do not let the turkeys get you down. I don't know what the turkeys are exactly, but seriously, like it's health's the most important thing. So it's not like you got a choice on this stuff. So fight it as much as you can, and know that we're here for you. Thanks, Pac Mom. Have a good one. Enjoy your tutoring. 13 years old me, very into Mitch Pileggi and the rest of the X-Files cast. Yeah, I was a lot older than that, but I absolutely loved it. Amanda once said in a YouTube video she loved kissing you. Oh, shucks. Don't be sharing that, Harklight. I want the helmet of the second sister 3D printed. Second sister, am I missing something? I'm drawing a blank on that. We all know that everyone's favorite Atlantis character was Kavanaugh. Absolutely, Gravity Gunner. You know it was mine. Take care, says River Song. Thank you, Fumbles McStupid. Thank you, David. I mean, I'm useless, but I'm thinking of you. Turtle Princess. Hope things improve for you. Polynomial by Pac-Man. Pac-Man is quite popular, I noticed. There were a lot of turkeys, it's true. Watch out for the turkeys out there. Where are we at? I still have not done my unboxing yet. I got too many freaking things to do, for God's sake. I don't even have a chance to talk to Harklight about this soliloquio thing, but yes, I must get that done. Uptime Zeno says it is. Khalid needs our dinner. Khalid's probably passed out of manly hunger at this point. Somewhere in my computer is a folder full of Carter McKay stuff with OTP is genius all over it. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order's second sister. Ooh, let's have a look. Let's have a look at that. Oh, yeah. That would be kind of cool. And use that, and that could be your COVID mask. That would be the key. Use it as a COVID mask. You want some Iron Ham TV or Tech Bandits merch to help us out? Oh, thank you, Spinnerbreaker. Yes, please, feel free. Get yourself some merch. Where is Jack Jasper? I haven't seen Jack Jasper for ages. I rarely ship, but yeah. Hello. I really ship some. Got some Mulder vibes from John. Yeah, there's definitely some Mulder stuff there, definitely. If you act with a character who's mostly antagonistic towards your characters, it's sometimes hard not to feel annoyance towards that actor. Absolutely, Grove Spaz. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I was, I would find myself, getting snappy with people and realizing that I'm being snappy because that's what? Oh man, Pixie Rose, ordered them a month ago. I think with COVID, who knows? I mean, that's the problem. Hello, Pixie Rose, how are you doing? Why hasn't Beckett found the cure for COVID yet? Yeah, no kidding, because he's a terrible doctor. Have you ever acted live? Yeah, Lexi K. I did, I used to do theater. Theater was that's how I got into this stuff, basically. David, The Beast of the Bottomless Lake is on YouTube. Oh my gosh, but aren't we like ripping it off by seeing it? That's neat. Okay, all right, so we'll have to check out more of our bad sci-fi movies. The David's bad sci-fi movies. Well, maybe it's a good one, actually. I don't know for that matter. Who knows? I shouldn't say it's bad. It just sounds like it's got that B-movie sound to it. All right, where are we at? I better check my uptime. What are we doing? Uptime. Why am I not able to do that? What's going on? I've locked up. Oh, come on. Oh, it's this stupid Mac. I'm so ticked off with you. All right, so I can't see the chat anymore, so that sucks because my stupid Mac isn't working. Oh my god. Okay, let me see if I can pop on here and see what's going on. I can't believe I'm going to the PC for stability. That's ridiculous. All right, look at the chat again. Here we go. PC Master Race. Thank you, Bugs. I was definitely PC Master Race for a long time. Then I got to Mac. There is no better or worse. I refuse to get into that argument. Do you think future series can break the Stargate baby curse? I would say Hapshade. Matt, Hapshade, I've got the stupid trash can. I spent a lot of money on this trash can Mac, and it sucks. I gotta be honest with you. You know what I'd like to do is actually, if someone knows, if there's a link, I want to be able to do, my own diagnostics on it because I've had other people do diagnostics on it, and they've told me that there's nothing wrong. I would like to do my own diagnostics on that, so I would love to figure out how that's done. We're over 2 hours. Okay, I should go. David, you always have great stories. Enjoying my coffee too. Oh, good. What kind do you drink? What have we got? We've got these ones. We order it through Grocery Gateway, and they have the best, the absolute best. Yeah, my Mac is just completely frozen up and wants to install updates, even though... Oh, you suck. You suck, Mac. Not all Macs suck, just this one. And maybe some other ones, but certainly this one. Characters having kids is often the death knell for a show. Yeah, it's usually not a good sign, is it, Gravity Gunner? So my pitch, I'm going to do it again. This is my pitch for a new show. I think they should do Stargate Academy, that they should have Rodney McKay running the place. I would be the principal. And we could bring in all of the old original Stargate people. We could be introduced on episode by episode basis. So you've got your young, hot kids that all the networks want. And then you've also got all us old Stargaters there as well. And then we just do a whole show about them like training and having to go off on missions. And they can go off and do their little missions and have all their little, sexy kid time stuff. And then they'd have to come back and answer to me. That's my suggestion. Principal McKay, exactly. And I would, of course, be doing everything wrong and getting lots of trouble and all that kind of stuff. So I have not copyrighted that idea. It's very hard to copyright ideas. Which languages can you speak except English? Also, if it's a few words. Je parle un petit peu de français, seulement. Mais anglais, c'est tout pour moi. J'ai étudié un peu de Spanish, but I don't remember most of it. I only just started. David, do you see Fink on Mac? Do you use Fink? No, I don't even know what Fink is, Iterator. Pitch it to the CW. Yes, that would be absolutely incredible. Wow, that would be really awesome. That sounds awesome. 10, would watch. We need to crowdfund for something like that. But except that we don't own the rights to it. That's the problem, Look, I'd love to write it, but the problem is I don't own it, right? So I don't own the characters. I don't own the right to do any of these things. And that is the issue. That and again, people have lots of great ideas for Stargate, think is the apt-get on Mac. All the Unix tools you can want to check your Mac and fix it. Oh, interesting. I remember a large portion of the SG fan base being very averse to the teen-like drama. Oh, exactly, Grove Spaz, but that's what networks want, right? So I thought this sort of addresses both, where you've got your teenage group and you've got your, established Stargate Academy type thing as well. I think it'd be great. Lexi K says that Canada would be the perfect place for her because you speak English and French, both languages I practice. MGM that owns the digital rights now, maybe. Jared, it's not even just MGM. So MGM owns it, but has signed deals with all these different people, all going back to the movies themselves, going back to the original Stargate movie with Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. Is it Dean Devlin? Yeah. I'll just say Roland because he's the guy I worked with. So Roland has some control over it, obviously, because he created it, sold it to MGM. But MGM now has a series that has all these different people attached. So there's all these different contractual things that make it almost impossible to do. I know that in Quebec is French and the rest is English. So Lexi K, basically Quebec is, we're supposed to be a bilingual country. We're supposed to speak English and French. The reality is that is based on a time that there were, French and English speakers. There are now, because we are such a multicultural country, there's probably way more people who speak, Mandarin or I don't know what else. Mandarin is the first one that popped in mind. So basically, but the bilingual French thing it's sort of a forced issue to some extent. I love being able to speak a little bit of French. It's fantastic. And I mean very, very little. And I think that, communication is the key to the world running in a good way, in a good non-warring way. So I think the more languages people can speak, the better. But the reality is, I think the idea of forcing one language over another, it seems very weird to me. Very weird. And also when I go to Quebec and all the signs are in French, whereas when we come here, everything has to be in French and English. So I was like, where's my English when I go to Quebec? But it's. Oh, yeah. What do we got? Unfortunately, I think the lukewarm reception to Origins and the SGC website has killed any chance of a new Stargate for the time being. I don't know, Mamma Mia. I don't know about that. I mean, neither of them were big outlays of money for MGM. They were both just they dipped their toe in the water a little bit. I think there's a very good chance they'll do a relaunch. I think more likely, they're not a relaunch. I think they'll do a reboot. That'd be the most sensible thing for them to do. They know how valuable Stargate is to them. I just wish they were better at. I feel like they're very old school in their approach to this being a product. This is an IP, an intellectual property that they own. And I feel like what they're neglecting to focus on is the fan base and all the stuff that surrounds that. I feel like it's something they've never truly understood or truly made the most of. So, I think that's and again, I've been, that's not. They're a film company and they've got into television. I understand that this is not easy for them to get their heads around, but I think we're dealing with, a seismic shift for them to come up with how else they can do this. And I think we're seeing a lot of, I love all these after shows and that kind of stuff. We should have had a Stargate after show. That would have been brilliant. Have some fellow nerds sitting around talking about the show and I think there should be better merchandising. There should have been different ways to interact with the fans on this stuff. One of the suggestions I made was when they were doing their role playing game, not the new one, the card based one that they're doing right now, or the Dungeons and Dragons based one, the Dungeons and Dragons based one. But they were doing a massively, multi-user, massive online, whatever the hell it was. I said, look, you know what you should do is you should pay me to be McKay on that server. I'd go on that server. We could have certain hours of operation where I'd go in, and McKay would be a character that was not allowed to be played by anyone except me. And I would go in and I would play McKay in the game, and interact with people live. I thought that was the coolest thing ever, a neat perspective, but. They didn't get the game made, so who knows? Anyways, all right, I'm babbling on. I'm starving to death. You got an emote thanks to DStat subscription. Thank you, DStat. DStat, you missed my thank you. I did a call out thank you to you already. So DStat being our sponsor, one of our Patreon level, our sponsor level Patreons. Thank you for that. What else? And Yeah, and D-Stat, you should have something flapping your way soon, by the way. You should be seeing that soon. I don't know if I got a tracking number for it. I should look, see if I got a tracking number for it. Time to leave for me. Thanks for the chat, David, everyone. Monica Lake, goodbye. I too am out of here. I'm gonna bail. I can hear his son thumping around upstairs. So look, everybody. Thank you very, very much. Until we geek again, I look forward to chatting with you all. I'll see you again next week for sure for one of these. I'm going to try to do some more of these, actually, because I find them quite therapeutic. And we've got to come up with a summer schedule, and we will see you Sunday for another watch party. This time we'll be watching... Whoa, D-Stat! Holy mother! That's insane! So we're doing another sort of thank you to everybody who's helping support Tech Bandits, whether that be by subscribing or by Patreoning or donating or whatever. So that's my little thank you to that. So I like to do these sort of like view parties, just sort of say thanks and give a little back for helping out with this stuff. Because my goal now with Tech Bandits is, now that I've got it I sort of had to move online, I now want to figure out how to make it online all the time. Like, is there a way that I could do Tech Bandits with more kids? And I think in order to do that, we need to start creating content around what I do separately with the kids. And then let that sort of become accessible to more people. So that's what I'm hoping to do with sort of future Patreon funds and stuff. So there you go, everybody. Huge thank you to D-Stat, who's just splashing out with the subscriptions here. Thank you very, very much. I feel bad going now. These are amazing, David. Thanks for doing these streams. Oh, Grove Spaz, a pleasure. I don't do it for you. I do it for me. I quite enjoy it. All right, I got a kid to raise. I'll see you guys later. So until we geek again. I don't know how to turn this off. All right, I gotta go over here. So until we geek again. I was gonna say sweaty or not. No, that's my burn alert. So what do I say? What do we normally say? I guess we just say cheerio, and then I go over here for a while and try to figure out how to turn it off. What do you got? Baz has got all these things going here. Okay, here we go. I think I can do this. All right, let me try it again. Cheerio. And I stop it.